against the New Orleans Saints. Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Lieber, along with Emerson Boozer. And, of course, who knows? This may be the day for Tampa Bay. They've been waiting 27 straight Sundays. Regardless, though, we'll see two fine running backs coming off record-setting performances. Number one, Ricky Bell.
Ricky Bell certainly has to be pleased with his performance last week, Frank. 94 yards. Now, 94 yards might not seem that much, but for a Tampa Bay running back, it has to be a good day.
Chuck Muncie is also coming off a great performance and a great year so far. He set a new season rushing record for the Saints.
He has a chance to gain 1,000 if he can get uncorked today and in the final game. But certainly Muncie's in the class of, say, a Walter Payton or one of the great fullbacks, not Larry Zonka, but a guy like Chuck Pullman that's still active, running well. He could be that kind of running back.
Bucs have perhaps the better defense, wouldn't you say?
I would give the edge to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensively, but they suffer a bit offensively. On the other side, New Orleans, they have probably the worst defensive club in the business.
We're ready now for the opening kickoff, so let's get with the action. Gordon McCarter, the referee, and there is his officiating crew. And as you can see, the Saints have won the toss of the coin and have elected to receive, and Dave Green will be kicking off for Tampa Bay. Saints have the number one kick returner in the National Football Conference in Clarence Chapman. Number 24, he's back there along with Rich Mouty. Here's the advance, and here we go. NFL football from the Superdome, bounding on the 10-yard line and picked up there by Clarence Chapman. 15, 20, 25, and really wrestled down at the 28-yard line by Danny Reese, number 46 of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So the Saints put it in play, 1st and 10 at their 28-yard line. Here's the way New Orleans will line up offensively this afternoon. This is their offensive line, and this is the crew that they've been going with most of the year. Not the greatest offensive line in pro football, which makes Muncie's accomplishment all the more remarkable. The receiving crew, Henry Childs is turning into a top tight end. And the Saints backfield. Archie Manning at the throttle, Tony Galbraith, and Chuck Muncie behind him in the I formation. Muncie across the 30 up to the 33 for a pickup of 5 yards as he sent Don Herman in motion. Dewey Selman making the tackle. Now, the Selman brothers have done an outstanding job this year, Em. No question at all. Here's a Tampa Bay front three. They, of course, play the very popular 3-4. And Leroy has been just something else in that front three. The 4 linebackers. And the Tampa Bay secondary. 2nd down, 5. Saints ball at their 33-yard line. They sent James Paxton, who's in the game, out wide to the left side. The handoff to Muncie, and Muncie is lassoed behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of a yard. Dewey Selman leading the charge for the white-clad Buccaneers. It'll be 3rd down and 6. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience, and any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New Orleans Saints and the National Football League is prohibited. Saints ball, 3rd down, 6. Needed for the 1st down. They're at their own 32-yard line. Paxton, who's filling in for John Gilliam at wide receiver, off to the left. Herman in the slot down at the bottom of the screen. And here's Archie Manning back to throw for the first time this afternoon. He's flushed out of the pocket. 30, 35, loses the ball. And let's see, the Buccaneers, I believe, have it. The Bucs have it at the 36-yard line. It looked like Manning was en route to a 1st down, and the ball came loose. Let's see it again, Em.
This is something that the New Orleans Saints have been concerned about, and talking to one of the coaches just prior to the ball game, they wanted to know how well, or see how well, Tampa Bay could defend Archie Manning moving outside. So opening play here, Manning tries to get outside, gets an arm bump. Lewis picks up a fumble here. Big break for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wasn't really hit that hard. Let's see now if the Tampa Bay offense can capitalize. Gary Huff will be quarterbacking the Bucs, who come up with excellent field position on the turnover at the Saints' 36-yard line. Ricky Bell to the 30-yard line, to the 29. A pickup of 7 yards. On his first carry of the afternoon, Pat Hughes makes the stop at 2nd and 3.
Frank, looking at Ricky Bell opening play here, he had 94 yards last week. It looks as though from the onset it's going to carry into the New Orleans games, because he gets through on a power play, a straight power play, finds a little running room, maneuvers through for a good pickup of 7 yards from there.
Well, the officials move it back to the 30-yard line. Give him 6 on the play. Make it 2nd down 4. Jimmy Dubose is in the backfield along with Ricky Bell as they work from the split backfield this time. Huck feeding Dubose, and Dubose finds a nice hole over the left side, and he's got a 1st down for the Buccaneers at the 24. Bob Pollard making the stop, a pickup of 5 on the play, and the Bucs have the first down of the ball game. Here's the Tampa Bay offensive line doing a good job opening up the holes in those first couple of plays from scrimmage. The starting receivers, Jack Novak, being injured back in there. Started last week and starting this week. And one change in that backfield, Dubose in place of Ed Williams. 1st and 10. Bell threading his way across the 20 to the 19-yard line. That's another 5 yards.
Frank, I might add that New Orleans is probably one of the lower clubs in the league against the rush. They are not a good defensive unit, but certainly they are weak against the run.
I'll tell you how low they are. 14 out of 14 teams in the NFC against the rush. This is the New Orleans defense you're looking at, the 3 linebackers. And on paper, they shape up to be a much better team. Chuck Christ there was voted the most valuable defensive player of the Saints here in the past week. 2nd down 5. A penalty marker is down. First flag of the afternoon thrown as Ed Williams, who came into the game on that play, carried for Tampa Bay, moved the ball to the neighborhood of the 15, and we've got a holding call coming up against the Buccaneers. Holding against Tampa Bay will cost them 10. Bucs haven't gone to the air yet. Gary Huff, by the way, has thrown just 1 touchdown pass in his last 12 starts. So it's been a long, long year.
Holding, number 80, offense, 2nd down.
Jack Novak, the tight end, flagged down for the holding call. It'll be 2nd and 15. Nose of the football just inside the Saints' 30-yard line. 11 minutes, 30 seconds left to play opening period. No score. Back to throw it for the 1st time. He's got wide open. Down to the neighborhood of the 20-yard line, Jimmy Dubose, the fine ex-University of Florida star who was a number 2 draft choice last year, and he carries to the 17.
This is the kind of pattern that Tampa Bay wants to throw, a very safe-like pattern. Linebackers are getting back, trying to cut off the receivers downfield, so you flip it outside to your back. Simple as 1, 2, 3, a thing that made Fran Tarkenton one of the all-time great passes, flicking the ball outside, short.
They needed 15 for the 1st down. They picked up 13, so it's 3rd down 2. Buccaneers have to get just inside the 15-yard line to pick up the 1st down. Owens in motion, the handoff to Williams, and Williams is stopped short. Williams is stopped at the 16-yard line. It will be 4th down and a long yard needed for the 1st down. And the field goal unit comes on. Green is 1 out of 3 in field goal attempts. That was against the Eagles, a 22-yarder. Ball will be placed at the 23-yard line, which will make it a 33-yard effort. McKay, the holder. It's far enough, but it's no good. He missed it to the right. So the Buccaneers blow a golden offensive opportunity after recovering Archie Manning's fumble on the Saints' opening series. And New Orleans will take over at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10, no score, with 10:37 left to play in the opening period. Frank Lieber along with Emerson Boozer. Superdome in New Orleans. Saints have the football, 1st and 10 at their 20-yard line. No score. Archie Manning has been intercepted 6 times this year in 175 passes. That's pretty good. In fact, that's the lowest interception rate of his 6th-season NFL career. Archie handing off to Muncy, and Muncy gets it out to the 22-yard line. Muncy had 107 yards against the Jets your old ball club last week.
Great week winning, but right now, look at number 61 right in the center of your screen. This young man has done an outstanding job. He moves very well. Watch him flow. Picks up the ball carrier. Evasive block here. Now, Muncie has no place to go. Now, that's how you should close it down when you're on the move, plus trying to evade a blocker. Well done, Mr. Selman.
Second down 8. Saints at their 22-yard line. Thaxton, who normally plays a tight end, but is filling it at wide receiver as Gilliam is hurting. Wide to the left. That's Muncie on the handoff, and we get a marker down at the line of scrimmage. Penalty flag is down. Muncie gets it out to the 25-yard line. We mentioned Muncie has set a new club record for the Saints of 781 yards rushing in a single season. The old record held by Andy Livingston, who had 761 yards. And he's averaging 4.2 per carry behind not the best offensive line in pro football.
Just vision what will happen if New Orleans can beef up their offensive line and get him rolling, along with Tony Galbraith, possibly the best 1-2 punch outside of what Dallas has.
Let's get the call here against the Saints.
Holding, number 62, offense, second down.
The center, John Hill, guilty of the holding violation, moves the ball back to the 12-yard line. It is now second down, 18. Buccaneers defense digging in, trying to get the football back. The Buccaneers have scored just once in their last 5 games. A Ricky Bell touchdown 3 weeks ago against the Lions. On the delay, nice hole for Galbraith, and Galbraith gets out to the 18-yard line, where he's knocked down by Richard Wood, number 54.
I have no pity for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because these guys can play defense. Galbraith and Muncie, they'll know that they've been hit. If you watch a hit here coming up, bingo by Brown. Good stick.
Pickup of 7. It's still 3rd and 11. Saints have the ball at their 19-yard line. Thaxton again comes out wide to the left side. Don Herman in motion off to the right. Archie Manning evading Selman's rush, but he got him the second time around, I'll tell you that. Counsel Rudolph with an assist from Leroy Selman. Selman really applied the pressure and then turned around and got him coming back.
Now, anytime you can get a 3-man line to put on this kind of pressure, you know you've got some big studs up front. As Leroy comes in, frightens Archie Manning out of the way. Here comes Counsel to do the cleanup work. Back with Dewey, or Leroy rather. That's a good pass rush. Anytime you can get 3 men to do that kind of work, you're on the ball.
Loss of 9. This is Tom Blanchard, the leading punter in the NFC. Reese is back there along with Higgins. This is Reese at the 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, down to the 27-yard line. A 23-yard punt return for Danny Reese. And again, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense provided with golden field position. 38 yards on the punt and 23 on the counter punch. And the Bucs have a first down at the Saints' 28. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, those are the Buccaneers. Those lovelies who perform before, during, and after each Saints game. First and 10 for the Bucs at the Saint 28-yard line. Their last possession started at the Saint 36. They got it down inside the 20, then the holding penalty hurt them. Ricky Bell in the sweep behind Williams' block. Bell gets it inside the 25 and is run out of bounds on the far side at the 22-yard line by Clarence Chapman, which would be a pickup of some 6 yards.
Frank, this has to make the Tampa Bay offense reach back and get just about everything they possibly can, because you're not going to get too many golden opportunities like that. So once you're in having only 30 or 20 yards to move the ball for a 6-point score, you've got to reach back and give it all you got.
2nd and 4. The Buccaneers at the Saint 22-yard line. Owens is wide to the right side, rest of the tee in tight. Bell trips and falls as he hits the line of scrimmage, stumbles forward to the 20 for a pickup of an additional 2 yards, which will set up 3rd down and 2. So big play now for the Buccaneers. We'll be checking other scores for you throughout the course of the afternoon. Giants leading the Eagles in the second period by a score of 7-3. Buffalo and the Jets are at halftime now, with Buffalo holding a 7-3 advantage. And Houston over Cleveland, 13-3 in the second period. 3rd and 2 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the 20-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. Ricky Bell trying to pick up the first down. He's got it. He's inside the 15 of the 14 on a great bit of individual effort. And the Buccaneers have the first down.
That's an indication, Frank, what Ricky Bell can do. Give him some running room. The young man coming off a great week last week, 94 rushing yards. Here he wants to set the pace. Finds some good blocking with Dubos out front. An offensive line gives him a crack. The young man can run. No question about it.
Another interesting stat here. Tampa Bay has not scored a first-period touchdown since November 28th of last year.
I think they might break that today, Frank.
Well, let's see. 7:13 left to go in the first quarter. No score. 1st and 10 from the Saints 14. Bell trying to get outside. Gets to perhaps the 13-yard line, and that is almost shoved up into the nickel seats. I shouldn't call those nickel seats here at the Superdome. A place that cost $160 million, huh? The price of inflation. Probably $50 seats, at least. Well, they say lost a yard of the play. They spotted at the 15-yard line. Big game in the AFC has reached halftime with the Patriots on top of Miami. 14-3. Got a 29-yard field goal from Garo Yefremian.
That's got to make the Baltimore Colts a little bit happy, Frank.
I would imagine. 2nd down and 11 needed for the first down. Saints making the safety blitz by Chuck Christ. Long count play by Huff. Saints defense rising to the occasion. Loss of a yard on that play, as the carry went to Lewis Carter. Number 32 is just checked into the lineup. It'll be 3rd down, 12, and Huff will have to go upstairs. Gary has completed his only pass of the afternoon. That little swing job. Out to Dubos. That picked up a good piece of yardage. 3rd down, 12. Tampa Bay at the 17-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. McKay goes wide right. Owens wide left. Williams and Ricky Bell are the setbacks. They give it to Bell on the delay, and Joe Fettersfield, the middle linebacker, was blitzing. So that was the wrong call, obviously. And he was dropped back at the 23, and he's getting up slowly.
Week after week, the New Orleans Saints have been blitzing more and more because they haven't had the big pass rush. This time, they've got the right blitz on, middle linebacker, right up the gut. And unfortunately, Huff had called a draw right up the gut.
Normally, that wouldn't be a bad call. 3rd down, long yardage, looking for him to pass.
Not at all. Great situation.
But the Saints had the perfect defense. Okay, Green, who missed a moment ago from 33, will try this time from 40. McKay to put it down. It is good. A 40-yard field goal by Dave Green. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lead the New Orleans Saints by a score of 3-0 with 5 minutes and 48 seconds left to play in the opening period. Hank Stram, who's got...
If you catch him looking up, he's not looking at the scoreboard.
All right, there's Dave Green, who just put Tampa Bay on the scoreboard. There's the book on their scoring drive. They didn't get far, but thanks to Green's toe, they've got 3 points, and the Saints have nothing. Rich Mounty pulls this one down at the 13, 20, 25. Breaks it out across the 30-yard line before he's dropped by Danny Reese, number 46. Crowd expected of about 45,000, which doesn't come close to filling this place. Obviously, it holds 70. Chicago leading the Packers in the second period, 14-10. Green Bay has just gone on the scoreboard on a 1-yard run by Barty Smith. And Mike Livingston has thrown a 30-yard scoring pass to Walter White. And Kansas City leads Seattle 7-0. 1st and 10. It's tied now, 7-7, pardon me. Here's Archie Manning. Drills Galbraith at the 35. Broke out of the grasp of number 33, Mark Cotney, and Richard Wood made the tackle at the 38-yard line. So a pickup on the play of 6 yards. It'll be 2nd down 4. So So the Buccaneers back on the scoreboard again, and as we said, they've scored just once in their last 5 games. That was when Ricky Bell got a touchdown 3 weeks ago against the Lions, so that drought is over. That is the 3rd field goal, by the way, that Dave Green has kicked in the first quarter this year. On 2nd and 4, Galbraith breaks the initial tackle at the line of scrimmage, but boy, look at that horde of white shirts. They drive him back another 15 yards, and Leroy Selman steals the ball and runs it into the end zone. And Galbraith says, come on, guys.
I like Tony Galbraith. He's a big running back, very quick feet. On the last play, it looked as though he would be trapped behind the back in the backfield. Just a little move, a little wiggle here, and he got passed right back to the line of scrimmage.
He gained 2 yards, 3rd down, and 2 needed for the first down. Galbraith has an average of 65 yards per home game, which is more than twice his average on the road, which is a little bit amazing. 3rd and 2. Let's see if the Bucs can stop him. Furman in motion, quick pitch, Muncy. And the Buccaneers indeed have held the Saints without the first down as they stop Muncy. Stringing that sweep out perfectly. And listen to the boos.
This is what makes that Tampa Bay defense a little bit tough. 4 linebackers setting back. As long as they can avoid the block, he faces number 57, Lewis, wards him off, brings it out until he gets help from his cornerback. You've got yourself a fine play.
Blanchard in to do the punting. His last punt, 38 yards. Number 1 punter in the National Football Conference with an average of 42.5 yards per kick on 74 punts. Hagan's dropping back for this one at the 13-yard line. 15, 20, 25, and stopped at the 28-yard line. There's a penalty marker now. This will be the first series that the Buccaneers will be starting in their own end of the field, which is rather remarkable. 3 minutes and 36 seconds left to play in the opening period. 48 yards on that kick. And it looks like it may go against the Saints for having an eligible receiver downfield. One of the inside linemen left before the kick. So obviously the Buccaneers will push him back, want him to do it over again, hoping that Blanchard won't get off quite as good a punt.
That negates a fine punt by Blanchard, 48 yards, and a young man that had to be talked out of retirement at the start of the season.
Ineligible downfield, number 56, kickers. Repeat, 4th down.
Lee Gross, number 56, the center of the Saints, left the line of scrimmage, and of course the rule states you cannot leave the line of scrimmage unless you're an outside receiver before the ball is kicked. Blanchard also got excellent hang time on that one, and will on this one too. Fine punt. Danny Reese under this one at the 23, 25, Reese 30, 35, 40. Look at him. Beautiful run back. The second fine run back for Reese, who is finally corralled at the 42-yard line. We've got another marker down, and this one apparently occurred at the point of the tackle. 44 on that punt by Blanchard. Oh, he gets it up there, too, doesn't he?
Still not bad. He only shorted by 4 yards. 48 on the first, 44 on his second.
You know, Raymond Guy of the Raiders in the Pro Bowl here a couple of years ago, is the only man ever to hit the instant replay television screens that hang down from the ceiling here at the Superdome. And that thing didn't come too far from it.
How high do you say that screen is from the playing surface?
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 71, kicking team during the return.
Kurt Schumacher of the Saints whistled for the personal foul, and once again Tampa Bay, as a result, comes up with great field position and will start this drive at the New Orleans Saints 43-yard line. For Color Tribe. As a matter of record, the Buccaneers' 3 offensive possessions this afternoon so far have been from the Saints 36, the Saints 28, and now the Saints 43-yard line. So they haven't yet started a drive in their own end of the field. Gary Huff, a delayed handoff to Ricky Bell, and Bell carries to the 39 for a pickup of 4 before Bob Pollard makes the tackle.
Saints have had a little bit of trouble with their defensive line this year. They are fortunate a bit, too. They have their number 1 and number 2 draft choices, Frank, starting in that defensive line. Right defensive end and Joe Campbell and Mike Foles at the tackle there.
Ricky Bell comes out of the ball game for a brief rest. Got Lewis Carter and Dubose in the backfield behind Gary Huff. Dubose, 35-30, first down for the Buccaneers at the 28. Jimmy Dubose breaking tackles at the line of scrimmage. And the Bucs continue to run very well.
They're coming right at the young players I just mentioned, Campbell and Foles. Simple power play, straightaway running. Chuck Chris comes up to make this tackle, but just couldn't hang on, and Dubose picks up a fine gain.
That's the 4th first down for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. First and 10 now from the 29-yard line. Saints have yet to pick up a first down. There's the blitz. Bell senses it, goes outside, and we got a marker at the line of scrimmage as he's run out of bounds at the 27. Got a yard in the play. No more than that, but a marker is down. And this one, I believe, will go against Tampa Bay. At Saints defense on the right side, we mentioned they have Joe Campbell at right end, who is their number 1 draft choice, and Mike Fultz at right tackle, who is their number 2 draft choice. So they're going with youth, as Emerson mentioned. Walk off against Tampa Bay, and for what?
Holding, number 62, offense. Repeat, first down.
Jeff Winans, left guard, guilty of the holding call, so that moves it back to the 39-yard line of New Orleans. It will be first down at 20.
Frank, the New Orleans Saints opponents have averaged 4.5 yards per carry. His rank's been about 26 out of 2018.
Ricky Bell. About the 36-yard line. It should be a pickup of 3. Joe Fettersfield, number 58, the middle linebacker, making the tackle. Fettersfield this year has set a new club record for tackles in a single season. Ricky Bell, number 1 draft choice last year out of USC, been banged up on and off throughout the course of the season. Hard to compare him with Tony Dorsett when you consider the supporting cast that Mr. Dorsett has in Dallas.
I'd like to see Dorsett and Ricky Bell hooked up sometime during the future, maybe through trade.
Second and 17 from the 37-yard line. Huff under pressure, gets it away. Almost picked off, intended for Jack Novak, and number 44, Chuck Christ. In the Saints secondary, one-time New York Giant, and a fellow who didn't play football in college, was a basketball player at Penn State. Breaking up that pass play, turned out to be an excellent football player. Be third down, 17 now for the Bucs, as Chris looks over to get the defensive call from the sidelines. CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday. Got the World Welterweight Championship. The highlights of that will be upcoming. That'll be a good one. Carlos Palomino against Jose Palacios. We'll have more to tell you about that a little bit later. That's an odd formation. Gary Huff over the middle to Dubose. Dubose at the 35, dragged down at the 34. So the Saints defense stops the Buccaneers. And this is a little bit out of Dave Green's field goal range, I would imagine.
Frank, that formation you were calling odd, that's when a team knows they're going to throw. If you get any indication that the opponent is going to blitz, as Chris and Fettersfield are up into the line, Dubose just moved up. There's no secret, we're going to throw the football.
Saints doing a lot of blitzing so far this afternoon. And effective at times. Dave Green, who does the field goal kicking, of course, also does the punting and is one of the top punters. He had a great afternoon last Sunday against the Chicago Bears, particularly placing the ball out of bounds. Got a delay of game call upcoming against Tampa. That looked almost like they took that thing deliberately, because they were nowhere close really to snapping the ball.
Not unless they just didn't keep abreast of the time, but I'd agree with you that they did it deliberately. Why, I don't know.
Maybe to give Green a little more room to maneuver with as far as trying to hit the coffin corner. I don't know either. So there's the Tampa Bay punter standing back at his 50-yard line. We've got 22 seconds.
Kickers, fourth down.
22 seconds left in the opening period, and the Buccaneers lead New Orleans 3-0. And they've certainly had the best of it. They've controlled the ball most of the first quarter and should obviously have a great deal more on the scoreboard than just those 3 points. Pretty good rush. Green for the near sideline. Takes a great New Orleans, or rather Tampa Bay bounce, and is down at the 4-yard line. I'll tell you, we were down in the Tampa Bay area last week for the mixed team championship, and that's just like a fine golf shot, putting a lot of bite on that thing, and it came right back. Curtis Jordan down it at the 4. CBS Sports Spectacular will present next weekend the National Hot Rod Association World Championships, the culmination of a 10-year event for drag racing's finest drivers and machines. You also see the U.S. Professional Arm Wrestling Association Championships. All coming your way next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Well, the fans are getting restless. A lot of boos raining down from above here at the Superdome. Officials mark the ball at the 5. Archie Manning throwing from out of the end zone, and he is going long. Intercepted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mike Washington. And Washington giving it back to Cedric Brown, and Brown is inside Saints territory to the 34-yard line. And again, Tampa Bay will start a drive in New Orleans into the field for the 4th straight time in this first period. Clock ran out. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Bucs 3, the Saints nothing. Over by the New Orleans Saints. Let's take a look at it again, Em.
It's a quarterback's dream. Certainly the receiver loves it. A home run pass. Didn't work here because Mr. Washington looked like the receiver, even though they had double coverage of Cedric Brown and number 40 Washington. But look at the lateral here. I question whether it was done in legality.
Well, he looked like he was behind him a yard or two. All it's got to be is back. It's a very heads-up play, obviously, by Washington, and Cedric Brown carries it back another 25 yards or so before he's finally run out of bounds at the 34-yard line. In New Orleans, end of the field, 27 yards on the return. And here come the Bucs again. 4th straight possession inside the Saints' end of the field. That's absolutely amazing. Unbelievable field position. Ricky Bell in motion. It's Dubose to the 30. And Dubose carries to the 26-yard line. 7, maybe 8 yards in the play before Chuck Christ made the stop.
Dubose is a big back, a pretty good runner out of Florida. Here he just finds a little running room. It's a straight play, man-on-man blocking up front by the offensive linemen. They do a great job coming off the so-called weaker side of the Saints where they have 2 rookies, Campbell and Folk. And something's going to have to be done over there, Frank.
2nd down and 3, a short 3 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the 27-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. Again, Ricky Bell in motion. Again, Dubose, this time right side, and this time he is stopped short of the first down. No gain at the line of scrimmage by Fultz. First quarter statistics show the Bucs winding up with 56 yards total offense, and the Saints 11. And the Saints were -3 passing. Next Saturday afternoon on CBS, here's a great matchup. Redskins still in the running for the playoffs, but they have to beat the Rams, and that game will be held in Washington. And you'll see it all on CBS. 3rd down. A yard needed for the first down. Buccaneers at the 25-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. They give it to Ricky Bell, and I don't know if he got it. This will necessitate our first measurement of the afternoon. Bell, 26 yards and 9 carries in the first period of play. It'll be interesting to see if they don't make it here, if they go for it on 4th down.
I don't really think so. If anything, he'd take another shot at the field goal.
I tell you, you keep getting this good field position and coming out with nothing or just 3 points, and it's got to be discouraging because a touchdown can get you.
I believe that once you get down there, you've got to come away with something, be it 3 points or 6, but you've got to get something.
Well, he doesn't have to make that decision because the Buccaneers picked up the first down by the margin of the nose of the football. It will be a first down, Tampa Bay at the 24-yard line. That is the 5th first down of the afternoon for Tampa Bay. Bucs are really running well, but keep in mind they're going against the worst rushing team in the NFC. Bell goes in motion to the left side. This time, Dubose ran over his own blocker and everybody else as he took it down to the 20 for 3 yards. It'll be second down 7. Pat Hughes, the right side linebacker, made the stop. He almost ran over his blockers back there, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Look at number 62, Jeff Wannon's coming out of the line. This is almost like a little fold-over block or a cross block between Dave Revis and Wannon. So all the back has to do is give a good little timing, little step here, there, get inside, get what he can get.
Looks like he almost lost it in there, too, but he did manage to retain possession. It'll be second down 7. Buccaneers at the same 20, going on a quick count this time. Ricky Bell, 20, 15, out of bounds, 14-yard line. A pickup of 6 on that play, and he is within a yard or less of another first down.
The Saints have found a weakness. They're giving Mr. Campbell and Mr. Fultz all the work they need to that side. It's a pitch out aimed at trying to pin the linebackers, and Campbell inside along with Fultz shut that whole thing off and hope that Joe Fetterfield doesn't get over to help make the play. And that they're doing very well at this point.
Third down, less than a yard needed for the first down. Buccaneers at the 14-yard line of the New Orleans Saints, leading 3-0 early in the second period. Quarterback sneak by Gary Huff, and I think he's got enough. I didn't mean to say Huff had enough, but it just came out that way.
A little play on words, huh?
Yeah. Another first down, number 6 for Tampa Bay at the 13-yard line. I tell you, they keep playing like they have. And you might see a situation as happened up in Detroit where the home team, in this case the visiting team for the Bucs, starts cheering for Tampa Bay.
This also reminds me of Tampa Bay's week at New York, or New York down at Tampa Bay, when they had the ball inside the 20 about 6 times. Lost the ball game.
Quick hitter, Ed Williams carries to the 10. A pickup of 3 yards. It'll be second down 7. Fultz, number 72, jamming it up. Ed Williams, as John McKay shuffles backs and ends out of there liberally. The type of year that Ed had so far. Journeyman running back in the NFL.
I think that indicates with him shuffling his backs in and out that he's going to run the football all day, so he wants the back flush.
Second and 7 from the 10-yard line. Ricky Bell behind Williams to about the 8-yard line. Chuck Crisp making the stop. Bell has to average 60 yards over these last 2 games of the season to break Lewis Carter's club record of 521 yards established last season. That's still in the first period, if you can imagine that. There's an offensive show for you. Kansas City and Seattle have already scored 5 touchdowns in the first quarter. Got 1 minute and 9 left. Our score 3-0 Tampa Bay. 10:45 left in the first half. It is third down, and the Bucs need 5 for the first down at the Saints' 8-yard line. The hole was there for a moment, then it closed for Jimmy Dubose, Fettersfield, and Chuck Crisp. Jammed it up after a pickup of maybe a yard.
We take another look at it here. It's a 4-3 defense, even line, we should say. Here comes Fettersfield along with Chuck Crisp. Now, anytime you're a free safety has to make as many tackles as Chuck Crisp has done, as an indication that things are not working as well up front as they should. Along with your middle linebacker, he's there primarily to make that kind of stop, but the free safety shouldn't be there as quick.
Dave Green, 1 out of 2. This will be from 25. He is hit from 40 and missed from 33. He's got it. Tampa Bay 6, the New Orleans Saints nothing. 9:54 left to play in the first half. And could it be? Stay with us. The Saints bench and Hank Stram, he started gnawing a fingernail a moment ago. When he does that, you know, Things are not going well.
He is in trouble. And if he starts to look up, put his finger in his mouth.
Dave Green kicking off. Monty and Chapman are deep. Saints have done nothing. This is Rich Monty. 10-yard line. 15, 20, 25. Down at the 26. Very crisp, sharp tackling by the Buccaneers. Saints have been their own worst enemies. They've given up the ball twice in turnovers and allowed a couple of fine punt returns by Danny Reese. And as a result, Tampa Bay has yet to start a drive in their own end of the field. Listen to the boos raining down from above now.
Frank, I'll tell you what happened. Normally this time of year, players, if they're not having a great year, they start to pack their bags. Out-of-town players, they start to pack their bags, send their children back home, get their furniture out of the way, in preparations of leaving. We'll finish the story.
First and 10. New Orleans at their 26-yard line, and Archie Manning wants to put it up. Big rush, and down he goes. Leroy Selman. With 10 quarterback sacks coming into this ballgame, racks up number 11 on a spectacular sack of Archie Manning. That's what you call your basic necktie tackle.
Number 63, Leroy Selman, has not packed his bags. He's not ready to go home. This is called hello, Mr. Manning. They took him down gently, though.
-8. Nose of the ball inside the 20-yard line. It is second down 18. I imagine Mr. Manning had a word or two to say to his offensive line in the huddle. Second and 18. They take it away, and down he goes again, this time at the 10-yard line. He's wondering where those white shirts are coming from. This time, Cecil Johnson, number 56 on the stop, and Archie is hot.
The same thing is happening. It was a blitz inside by Cecil Johnson, bringing everything you can at Archie Manning because he is dangerous, and they find him. The most amazing thing here, look at it again from another angle. You see it as Manning would see it. He really doesn't have time. Watch number 56 there now. He closes in. Really didn't know where he was.
Loss of another 8 yards sets up third and 26. If the Bucs hold them, they could expect to give the offense field position again in the Saints' end of the field. Straight handoff this time to Galbraith, who gets it out to the 15-yard line. And more boos from above.
Frank, this club reminds me of the old New York Mets when they went into a losing record. No matter where they went, people came out to see them. They cheered them when they did something spectacular. Right now, as happened in Detroit against Tampa Bay in Detroit, they're beginning to cheer for Tampa Bay here in New Orleans.
Tom Blanchard standing back at his goal line, and with any luck at all, the Buccaneers should have field position in New Orleans' end of the field for the 5th consecutive time. Nice high punt. Reese back to his 35. Beautiful kick. There's a penalty marker down, thrown at the line of scrimmage, and there's another marker down. And Reese gets up ready to take on anybody. 51 yards on that punt by Blanchard. But we may have had the ineligible receiver downfield because there was a flag dropped before the ball left the toe of Blanchard. Then another one dropped after the tackle. This call, the second flag, was for a face mask. And here it is, as Reese getting his face mask tugged on rather severely by number 71, Kurt Schumacher. This will be an interesting discussion if both of these go in favor of Tampa Bay, if they'll want the Saints to kick it again, or if they get the option here of taking the face mask penalty, which will move the ball into New Orleans' end of the field.
From where they are, Frank, it looks as though it might be offsetting penalties because if not, they wouldn't have been huddled here near the 40 that long.
I think they're going to bring it back and make Blanchard kick it again. And perhaps Gordon McCarter, the referee, will explain that huddle when he gives us his call on the penalty in just a moment. 8:13 left to play in the first half, and the Buccaneers lead the Saints by a score of 6-0, and it has been all Tampa Bay so far. They should have had a lot more points than that. Here's the call.
Ineligible downfield, number 56, kickers, is the accepted penalty. The other flag was for a face mask on the return. That one is declined. We'll repeat, fourth down.
Well, apparently they had their option of accepting either penalty. Now, had they had the other one, had they accepted the face mask, they probably would have wound up with the ball around the 50 or 45-yard line of the Saints. So they're taking a gamble in accepting this penalty, pushing the Saints 5 yards further back and making Blanchard kick it from 5 yards deep in the end zone. And they can get it a lot closer. This punt is a little bit shorter, but not much. Reese at his own 40, 45, and out of bounds at midfield. And we got another marker down. It's another marker down back near the line of scrimmage.
First indication is against New Orleans.
Are you believing this? Personal foul against the Saints is the preliminary indication, and Danny Reese is pointing which way. He said, shove him back. Man, half the distance to the goal and let him kick it again. Blanchard has kicked 51 and 50 yards. Our director, John McDonough, has suggested that if any more penalties are assessed against the Saints here, they will be kicking from outside the Superdome and perhaps in the lobby of the hotel across the street.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 56, kickers. Repeat, fourth down.
Lee Gross, the center, throwing an elbow.
And I can tell you just how tight these New Orleans Saints are. They've had 3 consecutive penalties here. It means that the opposition is rattling, say, the kicking team of the Saints. They're doing things that they don't normally do. They've been doing the kind of things they're doing now, punting team, since early training camp. So you know darn well you know what you got to do.
All right, half the distance to the goal, moves it back to the 5, and now Blanchard is backed up all the way against his end line. Let's see if perhaps Tampa Bay changes his strategy here and decides to put some pressure on Blanchard. They've been playing return here the last couple of punts. Officials discussing something here prior to the snap. We've got a brief official timeout while we get everything coordinated. Buccaneers leading 6-0 on 2 Dave Green field goals. 8 minutes, 2 seconds left to play in the first half. High snap. Isaac Higgins at the 50-yard line. Turned out to be a great kick all the way back to his 42, 45, 50, 45. Higgins spinning around at the 43, 40, 35, 30, and finally down at the 24-yard line. Another flag is down. This one, I believe, came after the tackle, but what a run back. He gave ground almost 15 yards after accepting the ball. Take
a look at this thing again. You'll notice that he starts to point here. Isaac Higgins, number 81 here. That point block, sometimes when a man is free, makes him believe that there's a potential blocker in the area when there is none. But he puts on a fantastic effort here to stay on his feet, getting whatever he can and all that he can out of this run.
Beautiful run, and the penalty was against the Saints on the punt, and it's being declined, as obviously Tampa Bay wants the football at its own 25-yard line. Ineligible receiver downfield again, if you can believe that, against the Saints. So the Buccaneers now have started from the Saints' 36, the 28, the 43, the 33, and now the 24-yard line.
Just imagine, Frank, if you had just gotten 3 points each time you've been down there.
That's right. This is their 5th possession of the game, and all have started in New Orleans' end of the field. 3 great punt returns, 2 by Reese, 1 by Higgins, and 2 turnovers. Huff beating Ricky Bell, and Bell gets a yard to the 24-yard line. You know, it looks like the Saints have made a defensive adjustment now in that front 4.
They've moved number 82, rather, Bob Pollard.
You couldn't find Carol Burnett last night. The reason is she's moved to Sunday nights, and on hand to help mark the occasion tonight will be guest star Rock Hudson. So join the fun tonight at 10, 9 Central and Mountain Time on CBS. Pollard, who started on the left side of the line, is now playing the right tackle, and Fultz, who was at right tackle, has been moved to left. All that inexperience on the right side of the Saints defense was costing them dearly. Ricky Bell, penalty marker down as Bell fights his way inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
Frank, to tell you a story, that happened to the New York Jets when I was playing down in Baltimore. Bubba Smith was having a fantastic day against young Dave Foley at the time, and now plays for Buffalo. And we tried to move him to the other side of the field, same as Pollard has done. Baltimore countered by moving Bubba Smith to that side of the field. They were on with musical chairs there for about 3 minutes. We've got two delay of game penalties trying to hide our tackle from Bubba Smith.
This one goes against the Buccaneers. Moves the ball back to the 34-yard line, and Gordon McCarter, the referee, with the call.
Number 62, offense.
Illegal use of hands goes against Jeff Winans, who is working on Bob Pollard, or vice versa.
Look at it again here.
Pollard,
Number 82,
82.
Pollard, and Winan is right in front. Somebody gets a hand. There's a hand. You shouldn't have that hand. He has a black glove on there. On a black jersey, it's kind of tough to see. But the officials are doing a great job. They found it.
Second down, 20. Buccaneers at the 34. Huff looking for a receiver, and he's buried. Back at the 42-yard line. Elois Grooms, number 78, thundered through there and trapped Gary Huff for the first time this afternoon.
You really can't blame the young Buccaneer offensive line for this. You'd have to give credit for the Saints secondary because Huff had all the time he needed here. He's standing there poised as if he is going to be bronze, and Grooms finds him. Another look at it. Getting upfield. You can't. You'll see Grooms come in from the left side of your screen as Pollard reaches for him, collars him around the ankle. New Orleans covered well downfield.
Third down. Now the Bucs have 27 needed for the first down. As they're at the Saints' 42-yard line, and Dubose is hit at the line of scrimmage. Sharp, crisp the tackle. That time by Mike Foltz, number 72, the rookie. And the Saints defense does quite a job because that drive started at the 25-yard line in New Orleans and winds up at the Saints' 42. So the Saints defense holding Tampa Bay to a -17 in the 3 downs. And Dave Green comes in to do the punting. 6 minutes left in the first half. Buccaneers leading 6-0. His last punt, 33 yards. He put that out of bounds, though, or was down, I should say, at the 5. Low line drive, bounces at the 15, rolls inside the 10, and the Buccaneers desperately trying to get to it, can't do so before it crosses into the end zone for the touchback. So New Orleans will get the football at the 20-yard line. First and 10 with 5:38 left to play in the first half, and the Bucs leading 6-0. Emerson Boozer, Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. Listen to this. The Saints have not yet been past their 40-yard line. They have no first downs and a total of -2 yards total offense. Well, there's a man that's trying to do something about remedying that. Chuck Muncie lost his jersey en route, but he said, man, it is time to get it on. Muncie, one of the few players in the league who wears glasses when he plays, a shatterproof plastic job.
We'll take another look at it. This is a power play. He's got to lead back. Dahlberg's in front, but can't find anybody to block for him. He just rambles his way, gets his jersey half torn off. And he's supposed to come out. I think league rules that once you've used that tearaway jersey.
That's the Saints' first down of the ball game. Galbraith out to the 36-yard line for a pickup of 4, maybe 5 yards in the play. I think at 4, it'll be second down and 6. Well, this Bucs defense is something. Look at Dewey Selman, 63.
He's taking it on as he should in heavy traffic. This is just like being in a heavy rush hour traffic jam. You've got to dodge, pitch your way, find the ball carrier. He did it well. Stop, let the blocker go by. Found over.
Second down. 6 for the first down. Saints at their own 36. Quick pitch. Mike Strong, who has come into the ball game, and Strong breaks a couple tackles at the line of scrimmage and drives forward for 2, maybe 3 yards in the play. That'll set up third down. Pretty good piece of individual effort there.
These linebackers here, they're cops. Watch Dewey, number 61. He just fights his way out to the outside. And that's what the 3-4 defense gives you. It gives you good pursuit if you have linebackers that have good lateral movement. Dewey Selman is probably the best mover back there.
Third down. Saints need 4 for the first down at their own 37. They trail 6-0 here in the second period. Archie Manning rolling right. Fires on the run and can't reach his intended receiver. James Staxton, number 86, and we got a marker down back at the line of scrimmage. Archie had a pretty good rush on him that time. We get the holding call, though, against New Orleans, which will be declined, I'm sure, by Tampa Bay as it puts the Saints in a punting situation. Three minutes, 39 seconds left to play. First half.
Holding, number 77, offense, decline, fourth down.
Marv Montgomery, number 77, the offensive tackle up at the top of your screen.
He's got a load, and Leroy Selman, rather. You can see his left hand almost about to rip the numbers off Selman's jersey.
Here's Blanchard, gets a high snap, and again gets it away nicely. Danny Reese at the 25, hit at the 29. Nice tackle by Wade Bossard of the New Orleans Saints. And the Bucs will take over and will start a drive for the first time in the first half in their own end of the field. Well, the Bucs have some representation on the sidelines, too. You see one of their cheerleaders there they brought from Tampa. And there's better than 100 fans who came from Sarasota, Florida, who are in the stands today trying to cheer the Buccaneers on to their first victory ever. Let's watch Buccaneers. First and 10 from the 29-yard line. Dubose taking the handoff. Gets to the 31 for a pickup of 2. And that defensive maneuver by the Saints apparently is paying off now with Pollard moving over to the right tackle position, giving Campbell, the rookie, some help on that side, and Fultz having moved to the left side. The Buccaneers haven't run nearly as well in the second period as they had in the first.
On that last play, Campbell and Pollard, they just shut it down in a hurry. There was nothing from the onset.
Second and 8. Bucs at their 31. 2 minutes, 45 seconds left in the half. Huff going long, and he's got a man out there, and he has it at the 31-yard line. Owens makes the reception for the first down at the 31. He was way underthrown, but it worked to his advantage. Had Huff really put the mustard on the ball, that would have been 6.
Look at it again here. Jackson didn't realize where the football was. The ball was vastly underthrown. Now, comes back. That's a sin for a defensive back not to know where the football is. Look at it again here as Mr. Huff with the downfield just didn't get enough on it and lopped it up there. The secondary didn't see it, but they came back to cover.
39 yards on the play and a Tampa Bay first down at the Saints 31. And we got a whistle in the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning going to both benches, and so far still all Tampa Bay. The Bucs 6, the Saints nothing in the first half at New Orleans. This is the New Orleans Saints' final home game of 1977, and next time you see an NFL game out of the Superdome, it'll be January 15th, Super Sunday. At Super Bowl 12, the unreal here. And the hotel demand and the ticket demand is unreal, despite the fact it's going for $30 a ticket this year. Can you imagine that? They've got 74 seats, and you can't find a ticket. First and 10, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Saints' 31-yard line. 2 minutes left to play. Huff back to throw it. Got a man wide open. That's Dubose at the 25, and Jimmy fights his way down to near the 23-yard line.
Frank, let me tell you what's
for another first.
Let me tell you what's happening here. Tampa Bay has been able to run the football well against New Orleans. New Orleans has now tightened that defensive secondary up, bringing linebackers and safety men up tight, which means that you've got to throw the football. Everything is open up downfield or in tight, expecting the run. Throw the football. Tampa Bay is doing it.
Second down. Bucs need 2 for the first down. They're at the Saint 22-yard line. You can see the time remaining in the first half of play. Dubose picking up the first. At the 19-yard line, Bob Pollard makes the tackle. And now the Bucs will call time to stop the clock with 1 minute and 27 seconds to play in the first half. Timeout should be no problem here. That is the first of the allotted 3 for Tampa Bay. I want to remind you, on Christmas Day, CBS Sports will bring you the Fiesta Bowl with Penn State, led by Chuck Fusina, taking on Arizona State. And that will be followed on December 31st, New Year's Eve, by the Sun Bowl with the Cardinals of Stanford, led by Guy Benjamin, recently named to the AP All-American first team, going against the Tigers of LSU and their highly touted running back, Charlie Alexander, who's third in the nation in rushing. And then, of course, top it off on January 2nd with the Cotton Bowl with #1 ranked, undefeated Texas Longhorns, with Earl Campbell, the Heisman Trophy winner, taking on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame in a battle that many say will be for the national championship. Of course, as far as Texas is concerned, it is. Notre Dame might have some arguments from people in Alabama and Oklahoma and places like that, even if they win. But there'll be another poll taken after the New Year's Day game, so we'll just have to wait and see. A minute 27 to go, first half. Buccaneers leading the Saints 6-0, and the Bucs driving once again with a first down at the Saints' 19-yard line, and they'd like to get on the scoreboard certainly one more time.
Frank, if Tampa Bay scores here, excuse me, I'd love to go into the locker room with the Saints and see what happens.
This is the 6th time that the Buccaneers have been in the Saints' end of the field. Huff back to throw it. Floats it out for Lewis Carter. Carter at the 7. Fumbles the ball and falls to the 5. Had he not dropped the ball, he would have had clear sailing to the end zone.
He would have had a touchdown, Frank.
He does a little dance step here as he catches the ball, and the defensive back goes right by him. Watch.
I don't know what happened here, but he's fetching a blitz. Huff had both of his backs up to pick up a blitz. Now he hits Carter outside. What Carter? He realizes that he's still on his feet, takes off, drops the football. Fortunately, picked it up. Good game.
Well, he was out there with a linebacker trying to cover him, Pat Hughes, number 54. And here it comes again. And watch the little step here. He puts on the brakes. Whoops, there goes Hughes. Now he's got clear sailing. Whoop, forgot something. But the thing bounced right back to him, so he got the first down. And the nose of the ball is just inside the 5-yard line with a minute 16 to go. And the Bucs have used another timeout, which leaves them 1.
That was one reason. That's another reason why Tampa Bay has not scored that much offensively. Whenever they get something going, there's a breakdown somewhere.
Carter, I'm sure, can't believe it. There was nothing but green artificial turf ahead of him. And what does he do but drop the football? All right, here come the Buccaneers. First and goal to go. Nose of the ball inside the 5. Huff, by the way, is 5 out of 6. He's had an excellent first half. And Huff is going to throw it again. Floats it out. Corner of the end zone. Touchdown! Morris Owens pulls it down in a corner of the end zone. And the Buccaneers have their first touchdown in 3 weeks. And their second touchdown in the last 5 days, and they got to be dancing in the streets in Tampa.
Yes, there's a delay pattern from the backside. You go down, you work the end zone, you loft it up. As he trails down the back of the end zone, Huff puts the ball on the money. The great thing about this, Frank, is that these Buccaneers got a big round of applause from the people here in New Orleans.
Beautiful throw, and that gives Huff 6 out of 7 for 80 yards in the first half. 71-yard drive in 6 plays. And here's the extra point try by Dave Green. That's good. Tampa Bay leading New Orleans 13-0, and Hank Stram chewing on that gum and shaking his head.
I don't believe it, he's saying.
The Buccaneers have dominated the first half. More so, perhaps, than in any other game they have played. This whole first half has been played in the Saints' end of the field. New Orleans has yet to cross the 50-yard line. Buccaneers' defense have been just magnificent. And, of course, the offense couldn't help there but take advantage of several of the opportunities handed them. As they had the ball 6 times in the first half in Saint territory, and all 6 of those times inside the 40-yard line. There's the deep men. Mounty, number 84 on the left, and Chapman, number 24 on the right, the leading kickoff returner in the NFC. Mounty chasing this one back to the 6-yard line, 10-15, heading for the near sidelines and run out of bounds at the 22. George Ragsdale made the stop. Ragsdale was injured last year in a game against the Saints, preseason game. Missed the whole year. CBS Sports Spectacular. Next weekend, the WBC World Welterweight Champion, the young welterweight from Santa Ana, California, Carlos Palomino, defending his title against Jose Palacios of Mexico. That'll be held in the Olympic Auditorium, and you'll see highlights of that fight on the CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday afternoon. 1st and 10 as the Saints are booed roundly as they come out of the huddle. They're at their 22-yard line. Archie Manning, sideline throw is short of the intended receiver, Don Herman, number 87, and more boos rain down from above. With 1 minute and 3 to go, I imagine the Saints would just must soon like to get it over with, get to the locker room, and regroup.
This is the time a quarterback or a receiver, matter of fact, the whole club has to turn the dial, and that is turn the volume down on the ears so they don't hear the boos coming from the crowd. You've got to be able to do that.
Archie Manning has 1 out of 6 in the first half of play. Second and 10. Muncy jammed up at the 25-yard line after a pickup of 3. And the Saints are going to use the first of their 3 timeouts to stop the clock.
Looking at it here, this is what the defense sees as it comes. It's a draw play, recognizes a draw play. Dewey moves over, gets blocked. Muncy runs away from him. And here comes Lewis to clean him up, along with Counsel Rudolph.
Lewis has been an outstanding performer for the Buccaneers this year, number 2 draft choice out of Southern Cal. There's John McKay. What did John say here the last week? You know, one thing about this man, he has not lost his sense of humor, and that is a very, very valuable asset. I think he said he was going to go out and buy him an O.J. Simpson poster so he could remember what it was like when he was a good coach.
One thing John's got to remember, too, he was coaching at the collegiate level. This is a professional rank. And you're going to have to do more things, have more people playing football, quality people.
CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday also features the 1977 National Hot Rod Association World Championship. That was held at the Ontario Motor Speedway 10 miles southwest of L.A. several weeks ago, and you'll see the highlights. The U.S. Professional Arm Wrestling Championship and the World's Strongest Men Competition. They're getting down to the nitty-gritty now. They've got a tug-of-war schedule. Here's Archie Manning rolling out, going to run it. Archie to the 30, up to the 35, to the 36-yard line. He has the first down. 48 seconds left to play in the first half. Saints have 2 timeouts left if they want to use them. And they're going to go apparently without a huddle, but hold it. Timeout. We got a Tampa Bay player. Shake it up.
We've got 2 of them down, yeah.
One of them looks to be Dave Lewis, and the other one, Cecil Johnson. Both of them linebackers. That play covered 11 yards. And was only the Saints' second first down of the first half. So effective has been the Tampa Bay defense.
Both of these guys are starters.
Next Sunday on CBS, the full lineup of regional games for you. Chicago closes out against the New York Giants, and the Saints finish on the road against the Atlanta Falcons. St. Louis winds up their season at Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers' final home outing. And San Francisco is at Green Bay. You look at another of these stats here, and all these, most of these stats at Tampa Bay have to be negative. They have yet to score their first touchdown in 6 home games this year, which is absolutely incredible. Their fans, some 300,000 who have been on hand this year for their home games, have seen the offense produce just 3 points so far. But nevertheless, it's a tribute, I think, to the fans of Tampa Bay and the surrounding area. The crowds have held up tremendously. They have averaged, counting preseason, somewhere in excess of 54,000 fans per game, which proves certainly that Tampa Bay is very much a major league market. Back to play we go. 1st and 10. Saints at their 36-yard line. 43 seconds left in the half. And New Orleans trailing 13-0. Archie Manning trying to run out of trouble again, and this time he chose the wrong way to go. The ball is free, but he was hit by none other than Mr. Leroy Selman, who has been in his face all afternoon.
This is when Archie Manning is tough. He starts the roll pattern here. One of the favorite kind of passing patterns for Hank Stram. He called it his moving pocket. Tampa Bay shut it down. Now Manning runs right back in the wrong way because on the right side of that Tampa Bay line houses Mr. Leroy Selman.
That's 4 sacks against the Saints. Manning winds up. Sideline throw is completed. And that'll be for a first down to Don Herman at the 43-yard line. And they say the clock continues to roll there. That's what they're out about. He looked for all the world like he was shoved out of bounds. But the official gave that circular motion with his arm to keep the clock going. And now the Saints have to use one of their timeouts to stop it with 19 seconds left to play. Apparently a rule that he was stopped standing up before he went out of bounds. Next Saturday on CBS, this will be a great matchup. The Rams, who are certainly one of the two best teams in the NFC right now, along with the Cowboys, take on the Washington Redskins, who still have wild card playoff aspirations, and that is a must-win situation for Washington. And you can see it all next Saturday on CBS.
Also, Washington's got their slingshot back in action. Billy Tillman cranked it yesterday and had a fine day throwing the football and moving around.
Absolutely. After about, 6-7 weeks of inactivity. We might point out, by the way, as Archie Manning discusses things with Hank Stram, that the ball now is at the Saint 43-yard line, and that is the first time that New Orleans has been beyond their 40-yard line in this entire first half.
Who would have believed?
Saints are not that bad a football team offensively. They beat the Bears, right?
They beat the Rams.
They beat the Rams, yeah, absolutely. Archie Manning rolling to his right, fires over the middle, and hits his tight end Henry Childs at the Tampa Bay 44. And now here's another timeout called by the Saints with 10 seconds to go. So they're out of timeouts.
Henry Childs hasn't been in the offensive scheme that much today, but he has been that big gun when Archie wants to pass. As a matter of fact, he was voted offensive team MVP this week.
They're really high on Mr. Childs, feeling that he is taking his place among the top tight ends in the National Football League. Made some great catches this year and is within a touchdown catch of setting a new club record for scoring. He's had just a fine year. He's had 8 touchdown catches this year, which is a new record, and their scoring record is also 8. Danny Abramowitz, who was a great receiver for the Saints down through the years, caught 7 touchdown passes 3 times during the course of his career. So Childs has now surpassed that with 2 games yet to go.
He also leads the league in touchdown receptions with 8. That 8 he has so far.
All right, Manning has conferred with the dapper Hank Stram, one of our former CBS colleagues. Hank probably wishes that he were back up there with us right now.
Good old Hank. He's going to have a lot to say at halftime.
Oh, I'll bet. 1st and 10. Saints at the Buccaneers 42. 10 seconds left in the half as Manning still looking. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. Finally throws it out of bounds and away with 3 seconds to go. Paxton was the intended receiver, but Archie saw he's going to be jammed up over on the far sidelines, and he just unloaded it. Well, from this distance, not much choice now but to go for the home run and hope for perhaps the big touchdown catch or an interference call. Tampa Bay 13, the New Orleans Saints nothing, in case you joined us late. And Tampa Bay has completely dominated this first half of play. Brilliant defense by the young Bucs, who average, just 24 years of age by far, the youngest team in the National Football League. Here's Manning. Lines up. Unloads it down the far sideline. And it is tipped away as the first half comes to an end. So the Buccaneers race to their locker rooms with a lot of zest because who knows? This could indeed be the day at the Superdome in New Orleans. That's the end of the first half. The score, the Bucs 13, the Saints nothing. The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League. That's Gumbo, the Saints mascot, enjoying himself on the sidelines with some members of the Buccaneers.
I don't think I sit that close to Gumbo. He looks kind of hungry, Frank.
He does. Here's the first half statistics in our game, and to give you a pretty good indication of the way that the Buccaneers have dominated. And look at the time of possession at the bottom of the screen, how long they've had the football. Another interesting stat there, look what Gary Huff has done at quarterback, passing.
He's thrown very well. Why? I'd say all due to his running attack. He opened up in the first quarter, running the football a lot, well into the second quarter. And then when New Orleans tried to tighten the secondary up, he started to throw the football. Done well, 7 out of 8.
When you get right down to it, most of that Saints yardage came in the last couple of minutes on that drive, which got him into the Buccaneers' end of the field for the first time this afternoon. And there's Hank Stram, and I mean to tell you, that's exactly what he's thinking, huh?
You might be able to see the jugular vein sticking out. I think he's changed complexions about 3 times today.
So both clubs back on the field prior to the start of the second half of play. Tampa Bay leading the New Orleans Saints 13-0. And the Bucs hope that this will be their first victory ever. That's the acknowledged record for consecutive losses in the NFL is 29. So they got a couple more to go to get to that point set by the old Chicago Bears back during the Warriors. John McKay, the head coach of the Buccaneers.
Nice tan he's got, and I know Hank Stram is not as tanned or well tanned as McKay because he's down in the sun. It's the undue pressure put on by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that has gotten Stram a little bit tanner than ever.
Well, I imagine the early moments of the second half should go a long way toward telling here if the Saints are going to come back. They're going to come back pretty quick here and show some signs of life.
2 more quarters of play, the story should unfold. We've got it right here.
And the Bucs will get the ball first at the start of the second half. Rich Zarro, Saints place kicker, making his first appearance of the afternoon with the second half kickoff. And the Buccaneers will go with Mark Cotney, number 33, and Isaac Hagens, number 81, back as the deep men. As we're about to get the second half under play. 1 touchdown in the game, up to Morris Owens. This is now a final score. The Eagles, scoring late, beat the Giants 17-14. Cotney at the 10-yard line. 15, 20, 25. Really popped at the 25. Managed to hang on to the football. Got to the 28. It was Rick Kingray, number 53 of the Saints. 19 yards on the kickoff return. And he was hit hard. So 1st and 10 for the Buccaneers, and Chuck Christ, one of their regular safeties who also plays on the specialty teams, was shaken up on that kickoff return, and he's going to have to come out of the ball game. And they sent in a quick replacement for him in Jim Marcellus, number 40, the former Kansas City Chief. There's Chris, the most valuable member of the Saints defensively. And he's hurting.
We're going to see if Huff tried to attack Jim Marcellus right away, but remember, Marcellus used to be the starting quarterback for Hank Stram when he had the Kansas City Chiefs. Was noted for a tough bump-and-run type player. Now, New Orleans has him backing up both corners, both strong and free safety.
Morris Owens goes wide to the right side, rest of the tee in tight. As Gary Huff, who hit 6 out of 7 in the first half, calls the signals, gives to Ricky Bell, and Bell is spilled behind the line. Loss of a yard in the play. Mike Fultz, number 72, the big rookie, number 2 draft choice for the Saints, making the stop. It'll be 2nd down 11.
As we're going to see if Tampa Bay will make any changes. New Orleans moved Fultz over to the left side, Pollard to the right. And looks as though they didn't really block him well backside, trying to attack where Pollard is now. Let Fultz get in from the left side.
2nd and 11. Ricky Bell on the sweep. Flag goes down as Bell is hit hard at the 30-yard line, picked up 3, and again it was Fultz right in the middle of things, and I think we've got a holding call coming up against Tampa Bay, at least from the indication of the referee, the preliminary indication. That'll be the case. First half statistics. Leading rusher in the game was Bell with 35 yards and 13 carries. Dubose at 32 on 9 carries. And Huff, as we said, 6 out of 7, 81 yards. He was trapped once. 10-yard walk-off moves the Bucs back to the 17-yard line.
Holding, number 80, offense, 2nd down.
That's Jack Novak, the tight end. I think that's the 2nd time they've got him for holding. And that is the 4th holding call to go against Tampa Bay. In the game so far this afternoon, Isaac Higgins is in at a wide receiver. He is wide to the left. Owens is flanked to the right, and on the delay, it is Carter who is hit at the line of scrimmage. Lewis Carter, absolutely nothing there. Bob Pollard jammed it up. And now the Saints defense seems to be fired up by whatever Hank Stram told them at halftime. In the first half of play, Buccaneers punted twice for a 37-yard average, but each time the punter, Dave Green, was kicking from around midfield. Third down, 23. They'll be kicking a lot deeper this time if they don't pick up the first. Gary Huff lets it go long. Higgins is out there. Higgins trying to make the catch. And Chapman just did catch up, number 24, and got in his way. Again, the pass a little bit underthrown as Higgins had to slow down.
Gary Huff had his man open. Called the right play, knew where he wanted to go with it. Waited until Higgins got the step on Chapman and just didn't get enough arm into it because it allows Chapman a chance to catch up with Higgins, and there's no way Chapman can run with Higgins.
Green, as we said, he punted twice for a 37-yard average. This time from the goal line, it'll give New Orleans its best field position of the day. End-over-end punt. Mounty watches it bounce at the 50 to the 44 of the Saints, and he is dropped at the 45-yard line. Good coverage off the Buccaneers specialty teams after a 42-yard punt. And the Saints are going to be making a quarterback change here in the second half as Bobby Scott, number 12, comes into quarterback then. We'll be back in just a moment. Here's the book on Bobby Scott this year. He came on in mid-season to fill in for Archie Manning when Archie sprained his ankle and missed a couple of weeks. Then he got hurt. Bobby Douglas came in for a game or two. Then they went back to Manning, and now they're back to Scott after Archie was completely ineffective in the first half of play. First and 10, Saints at their own 46-yard line. And Scott comes out throwing to Muncy, and Muncy caught behind the line, gets away from the tackler, still on his feet at the 40, back to the 42-yard line. He did a lot of running, and when all was said and done, the net on the play was a -4 yards. Dave Lewis, number 57, finally made the stop. It looked like he was going to be tackled for a loss of a lot more than that.
And that's the kind of play that most running backs call running in place. You get nothing but exercise out of that.
It'll be 2nd and 14. Saints at their 42-yard line. Young Bucs defense digging in. They have done some kind of job so far this afternoon, playing that 3-4 almost to perfection. Muncy and Galbraith, the setback. Scott throwing. Intercepted! That could be an easy 6 points. Touchdown! Mike Washington! John Gilliam, the intended receiver, and watch Mike Washington.
The matters is backfired. Hank Stram went with Bobby Scott, changed the quarterback. He goes out trying to give it to Gilliam. Washington steps in front, great shape, good position, but he starts to showboat a little bit here. And I think for Tampa Bay fans, they'll accept anything because he could have been tackled like they lost the football.
Scott tried to head him off at about the 5-yard line. A 45-yard interception return by Mike Washington. It's the Bucs 19 and the Saints nothing. And now comes the extra point try. Dave Green slams it through. So things are looking good for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 12:23 left to play in the third period, and the Bucs lead it by a score of 20-0. Tampa Bay 20, New Orleans nothing, and Hank Stram, he's probably saying, "Oh Lord, it is me."
You think I care?
Rich Mounty at the 5-yard line. Back to the 15, 20, 25. Mounty fights his way across the 30 to the 31-yard line. 26 yards on the kickoff return. This is a final score. What a big game in the AFC. The Patriots beat Miami. They win next week. And the Eastern Division is theirs. Well, our Archie Manning couldn't do it. Bobby Scott, first series of downs, throws an interception that costs a touchdown. I guess Bobby Douglas is next. Who knows? Power eye in the backfield. Now they start Herman in motion. They give to Galbraith, and Galbraith storms up the middle. Across the 40, out to the 43. That's 12 yards. And a New Orleans first down. That, by the way, is the first time. Go ahead, Em. I'll tell you about that.
It's a quick handoff. You see straight on straight blocking. Galbraith gets the crack and turns on with authority. They've got to get rolling. And running the football at this point is not going to help them.
You talk about first times. That's the first time the Bucs scored on an interception in their history. And Mike Washington gets the honor. Muncy tripped up at the line of scrimmage. It was Dave Fair. Number 76, the middle guard, who took his feet out from underneath him. A little bit earlier this season, the Bucs scored by picking up a fumble. Woods did, against the Cowboys in Dallas, and running it about 50 yards for a touchdown. That's the first pass interception returned for a score by Tampa Bay in their 2-year history. 11 minutes left to play in the third period. A long time to go. A lot of things can happen. Second down, 10. Bobby Scott to Muncy. Muncy gets a block. 40, 45, 50. Muncy caught from behind, but not before he reaches the 44-yard line. Up Tampa Bay, Cecil Johnson, number 56, on the tackle. Man shows he's got good feet here. What do they say, quick feet?
Yes, indeed. Muncy is the kind of back that you can build your attack around. There's an indication here. Give him a little flare outside. Gives a juke. Now takes off. He's a dangerous runner with strength.
The 15-yard gainer for the Saints and a first down at the Bucs 44. You have to feel if the Saints don't put something on the scoreboard this time, it may be all over for them. Galbraith, that loose shoulder pad flying, carries to the 40 for a pickup of 4, make it 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7, and he'll come out for equipment repair. Tony Galbraith, former University of Missouri running star.
I often wonder about the merit of wearing a tearaway jersey, because league rule is that once a jersey is torn, that you can't see the number, the player must come out of the ballgame. And you would want one of your top runners in there as much as you can.
Kim Jones, number 32, has come into the backfield replacing him. That's Jones carrying the ball to the 35-yard line. Well, first sign of a prolonged drive that the Saints have had this afternoon. That play covered 5 yards. Ball is spotted just inside the Saints 35 as John McKay looks on. It'll be 3rd down, and they need, well, let's call it 2, but it's a very short 2 yards. Bobby Scott leads him up to the line of scrimmage. Scott, very capable veteran performer. Muncy, driving hard, has the first down for the Saints at the 30-yard line of the Buccaneers. Pick up a 5.
Look at it again here. Notice number 42, Chuck Muncy. He does something that most backs can't do. He turns his shoulder to get through a tiny, tiny crack. Had he not turned that shoulder, never would have made it.
First and 10. Saints moving now from the Buccaneer 30-yard line. Trying to get outside, caught at the line of scrimmage and swarmed under. Johnson, number 56, was the first man over there. Not much there that time. I tell you, we worked a game a couple of weeks ago, Eagles and St. Louis, which was in the 3rd period, and the Eagles led 16-0 at about this point in the game. And the Cardinals came back and won it. So
New Orleans has the firepower to overtake the Buccaneers, but they've got to score a lot against a club that doesn't give up that many points.
That's right. Tampa Bay's strong point, as we've been saying all day, is their defense. And they've got a 20-point cushion to work on now. They can hold the Saints to under 20 for the half. They'll have that first victory. 2nd and 10, good protection. Scott has it hit. Intercepted by Woods at the 20, 30, 40, and out to the 45-yard line for protection was good, and then Scott's arm was hit. His arm was hit just as he threw it, and he threw up one of those butterflies, and Richard Wood picked it off and took it back. 30 yards on the return, and a Bucs first down at their 47-yard line. Now, let's show you here what caused that interception. Em, go ahead.
Look at 42 at the bottom left of your screen, along with number 57. Now, Duck went down to block on Dave Lewis. He lowered his face to the ground as if to cut, but he didn't, which gives Lewis a chance to move around his head, get an arm or hand on Scott's passing arm, causing the ball to go up into the air, sort of a floater, a balloon type, and picked off by Wood.
Hank Stram trying to figure out how to get something to work right. That's 4 turnovers now against the Saints. They had 2 in the first half, and the second interception here in the third quarter. And a very aggressive, alert Buccaneer defense. First and 10. Jimmy Dubose running over people. Carries the ball into the Saints end of the field to the 47-yard line.
That kind of shows you how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers feel as Dubose just overpowers the secondary of the Saints.
Well, I think they can smell it now. Second down. 4 needed for the first down as Dubose picked up 6. Goes out of the ball game. Ed Williams replaces him at running back. Ricky Bell caught from behind at the line of scrimmage. Nice play by the veteran defensive tackle Bob Pollard, number 82.
Bob Pollard can play just about everywhere on that defensive line. He started the season at the defensive end spot. Started some time ago at tackle and moving back to tackle, right and left. He's a valuable man to have up and down the defensive line for the Saints.
Williams checks out, and Dubose comes back into the lineup on third down. Bucs still need 4 for the first down at the Saint 47. Quick pitch. And hard running, Lewis Carter, number 32. I mentioned Ricky Bell. Bell, of course, is 42. The play a moment ago. That's Carter carrying the Carter to the 39-yard line. Pickup of 2 yards on that play. It'll be second down 8. I think we mentioned to you that the left side of the Saints offensive line, Rivas and Winans, are both wearing black gloves. Now, I wonder if that's coincidental, since the Saints do have the black jerseys. Since the offensive linemen of Tampa Bay have black gloves, the holding thing would probably be easier to get away with.
You can bet that there is a reason other than protecting from stars for the black gloves.
Second and 8. Bucs at the 39-yard line. Dubose cranking it out down to the 35 to the 34-yard line. Joe Campbell, number 73. There's an example of what we're talking about. Number 66, Blanchard Carter, one of the offensive linemen wearing the black gloves. Those mesh in very nicely when you put them up against the black jersey.
I played against the tackle at any dark jersey team. He'd wear gloves and try to color them the same color as the jersey, the opponent.
Third down. Bucs need 4 for the first down. They have to reach the 31-yard line. They're at the 35. Driving hard, and it will be close, is Dubose. And he takes a quick glance over at the sideline markers to see if he made it. That may be close enough for measurement.
Dubose and Carter looks like a pretty good combination. 2 good running backs. Don't have the notoriety, say, of an Anthony Davis, which is injured today, didn't make the trip, or Ricky Bell. But they are hard workers.
Again, Bell with bruised ribs is out for the rest of the game. And here come the change, and even the Bucs seem to indicate that they're a little bit short, which will set up 4th down and less than a yard. Let's see how short they are. About, what, 8 inches? Let's see if they go for it. They want to go for it. And I think McKay's going to let them go for it. They've got a lot of momentum going. Probably a pretty good call.
Got nothing to lose. Turn him loose. This is the best offensive showing they've had since Seattle, so you might as well try to keep the ball rolling.
Even if they don't make it, of course, Saints don't gain that much field position with the ball at the New Orleans 31-yard line. 4th down and inches needed for the first down. Lewis Carter, number 32, and Jimmy Dubose, number 35, will be the running backs behind Gary Huff.
I'd like to see a little fake in the line here and go for all the marbles.
Quarterback sneak by Huff as he tries to go left side. He didn't get much. Now Chuck Chris comes popping out of that tackle, heading to the sideline, indicating the Saints offense will have the football, but let's see.
They're going to have to bring the chains out, Frank. It looks as though from our vantage point that he got it. He only needed about 6 or 7 inches, maybe 8 at the most, and he did get some movement.
Now they'll bring him in from the far side. That was a 4th down play. If they don't make it, the ball goes over to the Saints. Watch it closely. New Orleans has the football.
I don't believe that, Frank.
Quarterback sneak by Huff on first down fails to pick up the necessary yardage, and the Saints will take over at their 31-yard line. Well, that could have been the clincher had they picked up the first down and gone in to drive for another score. 4 minutes, 2 seconds left to play in the third period. The Buccaneers 20 and the Saints nothing. Timeout. All down to the field. We'll be back at the Superdome in New Orleans in just a moment. Frank Lieber along with Emerson Boozer from the ultra-modern Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. 44,000 plus the crowd today in this 71,000 capacity stadium. Saints 1st and 10. John Gilliam in motion to the left side. Straight handoff up the middle to Galbraith, and he gets maybe a yard. And the Bucs will give him that every time. Let that clock roll along with a 20-point lead. 3 minutes, 45 seconds left to play in the third period. And the Buccaneers as close as they have come now to their first victory in the NFL. A stretch that is reaching now to its 27th game. Bobby Scott on in relief of Archie Manning, who had a miserable first half for the New Orleans Saints. Scott, protection good, fires a bullet to Don Herman over the middle. He's pulled down at the Tampa Bay 44-yard line, first down. Don Herman, one-time New York Giant wide receiver, breaking loose across the middle, good protection too.
It's a pattern coming down from the left side of your screen, turning in down about 8, 10, 12 yards, getting up across in front of your quarterback. Ball is well thrown by Scott.
Mark Cockney, number 33, made the stop for the Buccaneers. 1st and 10, Saints from the Bucs 44-yard line. Bucs have had 2 turnovers in the third quarter, 2 pass interceptions against Scott. This one is tipped away by Lewis, intended for Galbraith at the 35-yard line. So we've got a marker down back at the line of scrimmage. And it's going to be personal foul roughing the passer against Tampa Bay. So the Saints get a break here. As Bobby Scott was roughed, that will be a 15-yard walk-off and will move the Saints as close as they have been to the Tampa Bay goal line this afternoon. Down to the 29-yard line.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 76, defense.
Dave Pear, the middle guard, number 76. Flagged on the roughing the passer call. Gilliam wide to the left side. Herman set in the slot inside of him up at the top of your screen. Galbraith and Muncie are the setbacks. Scott back to throw. Good protection. Throws the pass. Tipped away again. And a fine defensive play by Dave Lewis, number 57. The rookie linebacker out of Southern Cal. Played that nicely all the way.
New Orleans is doing a fine job in giving Scott the protection. If you look at both right and left side of your screen, both defensive ends are double teamed, along with Dave Terry in the middle. He's being shut out. The other way that they can get more pressure on Scott if he starts to throw more often is to bring the blitz, but they need him now downfield, the linebackers that is, to help out underneath on the wide receivers.
2nd and 10 for the Saints at the 29-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bobby Scott looking this time. He's under pressure, trying to run out of it. Throws on the run. He's got Muncy. Touchdown. No. He caught it out of bounds.
He had 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and you cannot do it in the professional rank. Only at the collegiate level.
Well, obviously, I called that one a little bit too quickly. Muncy was in the end zone, but he was too close to the sidelines. Let's see if we can pick it up. They ruled he had at least 1 foot out of bounds or on the line.
This time, Tampa Bay brought more pressure with him. Dewey chases him out along with the rest of his. That's Selman, Leroy Selman. But notice down at the right of your screen. Notice at the right of your screen, you'll pick up Chuck Muncy as Scott has to scramble and unloads the ball. He starts to backpedal, not knowing exactly where he was. 1 foot down, the next foot on the line. That's no good. Great camera work.
On the line is out. This one intended for Henry Childs. Well overthrown on 3rd down and 10. Well, it is obvious things are not going the Saints' way. So they look to the sideline what they're going to do here on 4th down and 10. I think they will disdain the field goal, trailing 20-0. And we'll see if they can keep it going. Galbraith checks in with a play from Hank Strand. No question about the fact that the Muncy was out of the end zone. He had the foot on the line, and on the line is out. Scott letting it fly for Gilliam. It is knocked down at the last minute by Mike Washington, number 40. John Gilliam, the speedster, was out there, but the ball seemed to hang in the air for a moment and give Washington time to get there.
Washington looked as though he was ready for the interception. You look at the top right of your screen as we come into play. Gilliam had him deep, having to slow down because they're in the end zone. But notice number 40, Floyd Washington. He waits, time, gets hands on it, and bats it away.
Actually, he's in better shape not having taken the interception since it was a 4th down play. The Bucs now get the ball at their 29. Even with the interception in the end zone, it would have been a touchback. And the Buccaneers would have had the ball on their own 20. Carter. Out to the 34-yard line. Pick up of 3, maybe 4 yards in the play. CBS Sports Spectacular coming your way next Saturday afternoon. Some great events, including the WBC World Welterweight Championship bout. We'll have highlights of it as Carlos Palomino takes on Jose Palacios. The 1977 National Hot Rod Association Championship, the U.S. Professional Arm Wrestling Championship, and the World's Strongest Men competition as they go to the tug of war. That's next Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS. 2nd and 6. Bucs from their 32-yard line. Dubose out near the 35. 1:20 to go in the 3rd period. And counting.
Frank, for all the fight fans, if they haven't seen Palomino fight, he is some fighter, a classic fighter.
Buccaneers have converted 4 of 12 third down situations. They have a 3rd down 4. Coming up right now from their 35-yard line. Less than a minute to play in the 3rd quarter, and Tampa Bay leads New Orleans 20-0. Dubose has stopped short of the 1st down, fumbled the ball, but the play had been whistled dead. At the 38-yard line, he did not get the 1st down. So Tampa Bay will be punting with 30 seconds left now in the third quarter. And the Saints will send back Rich Mouty, number 84 at single safety, anticipating the punt of Dave Green. This is a spot on the field I'm sure the punters kind of like because they can just boom it away. Don't have to worry about trying to get it out of bounds or anything. Pretty good rush by the Saints. He does get it away, and a nice kick, driving Mouty back to his 17-yard line. Mouty to the 20. There is a marker down, and I think we may have a clip.
It looks like Jim Marcellus.
Yeah, Marcellus immediately threw both hands in the air, as if to say, who, me? 46 yards on the punt. But if that is the case, they'll come back with bad field position. The clock has run out, by the way. The third quarter has ended. So the walk-off will go against the Saints. As you see the clip here by Marcellus, number 40. That's the end of the third period here at the Superdome in New Orleans with the score. The Bucs 20, the Saints nothing. We now pause for a word from your local station. The two opposing coaches here in the Superdome, Hank Stram on the left, John McKay on the right. They played in the same college backfield at Purdue back in 1946. Right now, McKay trying to pick up his first win ever in the NFL, and this may be a historic day for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. After that clip walk-off, the ball has been moved back to the Saints' 9-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10 from that point to start the final period of play. Three-quarter stats show the Buccaneers with 169 yards total offense, the Saints with 110. The Saints have committed 4 turnovers. 2 in the first half, 2 in the third period. Most costly, of course, the interception run back for the touchdown. Bobby Scott has to throw. He's in the end zone. He may be dropped for a safety. Selman finally got him, but not before he got out to the 4-yard line, and now Scott is hot because I think he wants a face mask call.
Now, this is getting after a quarterback. Leroy just turned loose. What's number 63, Leroy Selman? He just overpowers everybody here. He gets in there, and he's not to be denied. He's clawing, reaching, trying to get a piece of him. It looks as though he might have had the face mask only for a tenth of a second, but the rest of it is just sheer strength. The back of the jersey.
And Scott really took a lot of punishment on that play. Loss was back to the 3-yard line, a loss of 6. Here's Scott throwing from out of the end zone. Fires it over the middle. Here's another touchdown. Richard Wood, 6 points. He's going to spike it. Watch it.
That's Richard Wood's second touchdown. He had one against Dallas early in the year. Now he's picked up another to put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers ahead.
That's the second touchdown for the defense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They've outscored the offense this afternoon, 2 touchdowns to 1. And Richard Wood, with an easy 10 yards, he sees the goal line, and Muncie tries to head him off, but not nearly soon enough. And boy, does that send a few fans to the exits. McKay to hold, Green with the extra point. He missed it. Missed this one. But it will not make much difference, I don't believe, at this point. Buccaneers 26-0, 14 minutes and 10 seconds to go. As you look at it from yet another angle, Richard Wood, 10-yard run back, touchdown, Tampa Bay. Cotton Bowl, where the #1 ranked Texas Longhorns with Heisman Trophy winner Earl Campbell take on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. That's the Cotton Bowl, January 2nd. Well, I'm sure Tampa Bay fans wouldn't mind seeing it one more time.
I don't know why Bobby Scott threw this pass. As we look upfield a little bit, he's waiting on one of his receivers to clear an obstruction, but then he releases it with Richard Wood standing right in front of his intended receiver. An easy giveaway, 6 points.
Dave Green ready to kick off. High and a little bit short. Bowdy at the 12, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And Mowdy is one Saint who won't give up as he carries it back to their midfield. First down, New Orleans, 13:59 left to play in the game. Paul Harris, number 52, made the stop, a 39-yard return. The Bucs, by the way, have now scored more points than they've scored in any other game this year. They had 23 against the Seattle. They have 26 here, obviously. Archie Manning is back in the game at quarterback.
I'll tell you, an interesting note, Frank. Only 4 times this season that Tampa Bay has given up 20 or more points.
So it's hard to believe that the Saints can score that many in one quarter. Here's Manning, big rush. 50, 45, and Leroy Selman from behind lays him out at the 43-yard line, and Archie will get up slowly, wondering, did somebody get the number of that truck that just ran over me? Archie doing some scrambling. He is one of the better runners among the quarterbacks in the NFL.
This is what makes some of the defensive linemen outstanding linemen. Watch number 63, Leroy Selman. He does it all. He gets in the chase position here, not giving up, knowing that if he stays in pursuit, he's going to get his prey, and that he did.
Archie has more yards rushing this season than any quarterback in the NFL. 198 and an average of 7.1 per carry, despite the fact that he's missed 4 games because of the ankle sprain that he suffered against the Rams. I think you saw Leroy kind of came across shoulder and head high, and Archie may be a bit groggy. And he will have to come out after just one play in the lineup, and Bobby Scott is back in. Oakland leading Minnesota 7-0 first period on a 2-yard run by Mark Van Egan, the AFC's leading rusher. And those of you watching, stay tuned, because immediately following the conclusion of this game, well, you'll be seeing the Minnesota-Oakland game. Means a lot to both clubs. Second down. Saints need 3 for the first down. They're at the Bucs 43 with 13 and a half minutes left to play in the game. Tampa Bay leading 26-0. Scott, sideline throw, hits Henry Childs, the tight end, fights off one tackle, goes out of bounds at the 41. That should be enough for the first down. Dick Maxwell, the Bucs PR guy, was in our booth just a moment ago, handed me a note. And on the bottom of it, it said, please wait until the end of the fourth quarter to announce. And I turned to him and I said, why? And he said, well, I was before the last touchdown, so you can go ahead. What he wanted me to tell you was that the Bucs will arrive back in Tampa Bay at 8:15 this evening at Airside D at Tampa Bay International. If they do win this, I imagine they'll have a few of their faithful out there, because this is NFL history. As you also saw, Oakland got another quick touchdown in Minnesota to go ahead 14-0. That was on a 10-yard pass from Ken Stabler to Cliff Branch. Straight carry up the middle that time. Not much there for the Saints, but they got it up for the first down at the Tampa Bay 39, and the clock continues to roll. 13 minutes left to play in this game. After it's over, we'll join Minnesota at Oakland, so be sure and stay tuned. And I imagine the Buccaneers may have a little celebration of their own planned on the sidelines and in the locker room after the game. We may be seeing NFL history being made. In fact, you are. Bobby Scott over the middle, hit the ground first, incomplete. Intended for Don Herman at the 25-yard line and threw it low.
Frank, can you imagine the feeling of the Saints coaching staff right now? All week long, they practice and they try to instill in their players that this young Tampa Bay club, even though having lost 25, 26 games, they are not that bad. And for a club that's 0-12, a coach tell you they're not that bad. How can you believe it until you face them on Sunday?
Archie Manning returning to the Saints lineup after being shaken up for a couple of plays, replacing Bobby Scott. 2nd and 10. Saints at the Buccaneer 40-yard line. Archie rolling out. Look out. Dave Pear had him. Got away. Archie to the 40, to the 35, and slides to a halt at the 30-yard line with an assist from Cecil Johnson, number 56. After the shot he took last time, I noticed he kind of slid into the stop there.
He wanted to get down on the first one when he got hurt on. This time he's making sure that the head doesn't hit the ground first. As he moves to evade Pear, Selman, and can't see the other, gets blocked off. But notice how Archer goes down, protecting himself well. A pace from Fran Tarkington's days.
Ball is at the 31-yard line, 3rd down, 3. Saints moving in Tampa Bay territory. They haven't had a serious scoring threat yet. Galbraith stopped short of the first down at the 30-yard line. He still needs about a yard and a half or so. Scott retired a moment ago after hitting 4 out of 12 in the 3rd period for 36 yards. He had 3 intercepted. Archie Manning, 3 out of 8 for 34 so far, and 1 interception. So 4 pass interceptions by the alert Tampa Bay defense. 2 of them converted directly into touchdowns. A team that hasn't run an interception back for a touchdown in its history gets 2 1/2. 4th down. Saints need 2 for the first down at the 30-yard line. They give it to Muncy. Muncy trying to get outside, and he'll never make it. Buccaneers really after him. Mark Cotney stringing it out. Look at that Tampa Bay bench. Oh, they are getting excited now. This is their Super Bowl. It has been a long season, obviously, going 0-12, but they haven't given it up at all. For many of them, it's been a long 2 seasons. Okay, a lot of them, though, were around last year, aren't around this year. They have just 16 players left of the 39 they got out of the player draft a couple of years ago. Timeout in the field. 11 minutes, 9 seconds left to play in the game. And the Buccaneers lead it 26-6. Why me, says Hank Stram, huh?
They're not days of yore. As he sports his championship ring, he is in trouble.
It's a Super Bowl ring from the Kansas City Chiefs, of course, when they beat the Minnesota Vikings here in New Orleans several years ago. The times have changed. 11 minutes, 9 seconds separating the Buccaneers from their first regular season NFL victory ever. 1st and 10. Ball is at their 34-yard line. Dubose dragged down behind the line of scrimmage by Joe Fettersfield, number 58. And, of course, the Bucs now like to keep the ball on the ground. Run down that clock as far as they can. Loss of 2 in the play. It'll be 2nd down 12. Certainly can't fault Gary Huff off his performance this afternoon. He's done an outstanding job for Tampa Bay so far. Nice hole over the right side. And Carter breaks through there up to the 39-yard line. Picked up the 2 they lost in the previous play and another 5. It'll be 3rd down 5. Make it 3rd and 6. With the ball at the 39-yard line. The ironic thing about this is that the game shouldn't be this close.
No, it shouldn't.
Really. This game is not as close as the score would indicate.
Tampa Bay should have had at least 35 points by now.
Quick pitch. Carter lost it. Huff just going to hang on for dear life. Back at the 25-yard line. Bob Pollard and Joe Fettersfield each have 11 tackles on the ball game. So they've done their jobs defensively. Tampa Bay will be punting now. Clock continues to roll. 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Dave Green standing back on the 10-yard line. Rich Mounty will be in single safety for the New Orleans Saints.
Frank, looking at Stram down there, both players and coaches alike are treating him as if he's radiating germs. They're moving away as quickly as possible.
Green got it away, a little bit short. Mounty at the 40. Still at the 40-yard line and pulled down. And about that point, nice tackle on the play. Moving up quickly defensively was Paul Harris, number 52. 8:53 separating the Buccaneers from their first victory ever. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, they may be 0-26, but the fans have come from afar to the Superdome to see if this will be the day. And their patience at long last is being rewarded, as the Buccaneers lead the Saints 26-0 with 8:53 left to go. First and 10, New Orleans from its 44. Archie Manning pitching to Muncy, who wants to throw it, and now he's going to have to run it. Got out to the 47-yard line. He had Gilliam down deep, but he was covered very well. Oh, he had a lot of time, didn't he?
Yes, he did. As we look at it again, he shows it right now that it's going to be a pass, but he's covered very well downfield, so now it's scramble time. Push the panic button. Move. Get out of the way. I've got to go. He's in trouble.
Pick up of 2 yards in the play when all was said and done. 2nd and 8. Clock continues to move. Just over 8 minutes. Archie Manning sends it long. And it is caught by Herman out of the 15-yard line. And Herman is dragged down by Jarris White, number 45. And this will be the Saints' deepest penetration of the afternoon as they're at the Buccaneer 15. 39 yards.
Jarris White knew he was in trouble as Manning starts to roll off to his left. And he turns around, throws back across field. Now Jarris turns, you'll see him in your picture. He turns, gets into the chase position. Now recognizing that the ball is underthrown, gets back. There's a little help to that from Brown.
Nose of the ball just beyond the 15-yard line. First and 10, New Orleans Saints. They trail 26-0. Final period of play. Trying to at least avert the shutout here. That's Childs. And Childs is down to the 3, maybe the 2-yard line. Before he goes out of bounds, it'll be first and goal to go.
And you can bet Henry Childs wanted that one because he only needs one to break the record, one touchdown to break the record, and he almost got it there. The big man lowers his head. Once he knows that he's near pay dirt, tries to pull his way for the rest of the yardage, but those Buccaneers are tough.
Cecil Johnson with a diving tackle forced him out of bounds at the 2. It is first and goal to go. Bucs now digging in. See if they can hold their shutout together. Manning on the rollout. Touchdown. So the Saints finally score on a 2-yard rollout by Archie Manning.
That's the kind of player Manning is. He'll direct his club the best way he possibly can. This time, not taking any chances. He's going to roll with it, tuck the football away immediately. Gets a good block here from Chuck Muncy on Washington. All he needs.
Tampa Bay was offside on the play, but obviously that will be declined. And Rich Zarro comes on to try the extra point. 7 minutes, 12 seconds left to play in the contest. 56-yard drive. And it took the Saints just 4 plays to get home, the big one being the 39-yard pass to Herman. Good. Now we've got a little allocation down around the goal line. Dave Lewis of the Buccaneers, involved with John Morrison, number 76, the offensive tackle of the Saints. There's our score with 7 minutes, 12 seconds left to play. Superdome in New Orleans, and you may be seeing pro football history being made. Well, you know, once they get over that hump, that first hump now, I imagine there's going to be a lot of pressure off this football team, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them put another one on next week, would you?
I wouldn't either, because what they're doing here today, they found that they can throw the football with Huff in there, and they ran the ball very well, starting out with Ricky Bell and Dubose, then Carter and Dubose. They have done some things extremely well offensively, even though the breaks early in the ballgame fell completely in the laps of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. To take them any way you can.
They're looking for the onside kick, and that's what they get. And we get a marker thrown. Penalty marker down. The onside kick was recovered by the Bucs near midfield. If it's against the Saints, perhaps on the offside, I imagine they'll say, forget it, let's take the ball right there. Morris Owens over there clutched the football. We'll get the call here from the referee, Gordon McCarter.
Kicking team. 10 yards, kicking team. Both fouls declined. First down.
Well, the penalty, as we surmised, against the Saints, the offside call, as the referee's mic kicking up a little bit there. The penalty declined by the Buccaneers, who will take the ball at the 48-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. And I try to put together a few first downs and run down the clock some more. Little slip it and slide it by Lewis Carter to the 45 or 44-yard line. Alois Grooms makes the stop for the Saints. Saints finish at Atlanta next week, and Tampa Bay, of course, comes home to take on the St. Louis Cardinals.
Frank, I'll be down in Tampa Bay next week to see them versus the Cardinals. And if they play as well as they've been playing here today, they won't give the Cardinals run for the score.
Boy, Raiders have put 21 points on the board against Minnesota in the first period. And again, a reminder that you'll see all the action of that key interconference game immediately following the conclusion of this ball game. Williams driving for the first down and really running hard. And Ed Williams is very close to the first down at the 38-yard line. Tommy Kramer of Minnesota fumbled on the 1-yard line going out, and that fumble was recovered by Willie Hall. And Hall had a 1-yard advance to score the touchdown for Oakland that made it 21-0. First down for Tampa Bay. That's what they want. That clock continues to move, just over 6 minutes. Buccaneers once again will be arriving back at Tampa International Airport at 8:15 tonight at Airside D. To, I am sure, quite a welcome. Looks like the Bucs jumped offside. Number 65, Randy Johnson, jumping the gun. You realize this will be their first happy plane ride home in 2 years?
I know the feeling.
Been a long time coming. The Buccaneers have finally put it together. Tampa Bay 26, New Orleans 7. 5 minutes, 50 seconds left to play.
Ball start. Number 65, offense. First down.
First down, 15 now for the Bucs. After being penalized 5 yards, that moves it back to the 43-yard line. Morris Owens wide to the right side. Bucs have two tight ends in there, Knapsinger and Novak, as they're going to try to run the football. Ed Williams looking for a hole and finds one, and we get a penalty marker thrown. See what this one's all about. Well, I'm sure you Tampa Bay fans are going to remember this one for a long, long time. It's a case of pro football history being made as one of the longest losing streaks in the history of the game. It is on the verge of ending. Walk off against the Bucs. 10-yarder moves it back to the 47-yard line in their end of the field. And the call by the referee, Gordon McCarter.
Holding. Number 83, offense. First down.
That's one of those two tight ends they have in there, Dana Knapsinger. Still first down, now 25 yards to go. Well, what are you going to do? Dan Medlin, number 68, jumped that time, right side of the Bucs offensive line.
Hey, a little bit edgy. They want this thing over with.
Would you believe first down and 30 yards to go?
At this point, the New Orleans Saints players defensively would quit, I would say, but if they know that there's a big camera upstairs being filmed, the Saints are taking films of the defensive unit, and on Tuesday or Monday when they view the films, any player that appears as though he's letting go of the air that has been pumped in all week just might not be around next year.
Could we say that the Bucs are moving relentlessly toward their own goal line?
Yeah, they're marching.
Quick handoff and a big hole for Jimmy Dubose and another flag. Tackle is made at the 45-yard line in the Saints end of the field. This is going to be against Tampa Bay for illegal use of hands. That'll be another 10, right? That'll be first down and 40 yards. This time from the 33-yard line.
I think they're getting close to that exit down there, Frank, so that they can make a quick getaway.
5 minutes and 37 seconds left to play in the game, and the Buccaneers appear to have it 26-7.
Illegal use of hands. Number 83 offense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Dana Knapziger, the tight end, number 83. You see him out there on the right-hand side of the screen.
He gets a hand in the back. You can't do that. He gets a hand in the back and push. Only offensive linemen can get away with that.
Huff going upstairs. Completes it to Williams. Williams is out of bounds at the 44 of the Saints. They got 20 yards back. Ed Williams getting a lot of work this afternoon. For those who joined us late, Ricky Bell suffered bruised ribs early in the third period and has not returned, and the word we get is that he will not return for the remainder of the afternoon. So Dubose been shuttling with Williams. Kim Jones, pardon me, Carter's seen quite a bit of action. Second down, 16. Buccaneers at the 44-yard line. Straight handoff to Dubose. Mike Fultz jamming the hole. So the young Tampa Bay Buccaneers may have come of age here in the Superdome this afternoon. There's the Buck bench. They're not celebrating yet, but I imagine they're thinking about it. Next to John McKay, Bill Nelson, the former Brown quarterback, who is the offensive coordinator for Tampa Bay. If you don't think it's been a long year for him, you got another guest coming. Carter stepping to the 40, down to the 35, to the 34-yard line. Still considerably short of the first down.
Frank, you can bet that McKay will sleep well tonight. He's had many sleepless Sunday and Monday nights. No problem sleeping tonight.
4.5 minutes left to play in the game, and Tampa Bay will have its first victory ever. Even Johnny Carson's going to have to find some new material this week.
I think Sam has provided it once he gets a look at some of these highlights.
4th down, 7. Dave Green will punt from the 50. They've got all 11 men on the line of scrimmage. Now, that's a little bit unusual.
That's desperation.
That is. The Saints have no one back for the punt, and they have all 11 men, including the safety man, Rich Mowdy, who normally fields the punts, at the line of scrimmage. There they are.
Frank, when you face this kind of situation, you're one-on-one, and having a punter, you can't block everybody up there, so you put the responsibility on one of your key players, making sure that he has to take two on rushes.
Well, it's obvious they're going for the block, right?
Right. Who has been named to chop down 2 men? I don't know, but we'll watch and see as it unfolds.
All right, here it is. And now Mowdy's going to drop off. The last minute, Mowdy backpedals, so it'll be a 10-man rush. Dave Green standing back at his 45-yard line. Snapped is high. He's going to throw it over the middle, and is caught. And I believe it'll be a first down.
I think he got his first down.
Danny Reese, number 46, as Green's pass was high. And Reese did a great job in flagging it down and got just enough for the first down. Well, when things go right, everything go right. And I guess these guys are due for their share of luck.
John McKay has opened up an old Barrett treasure chest. The things that he once did, they're beginning to pay off. He has great leaping catch to get the ball and the needed first down.
Of course, what he didn't realize, we might take a look at that again. He had Nafziger, number 83, completely wide open behind Reese, but Reese didn't see him. And so Reese thought that he would have to make the catch. But Nafziger was wide open and could have made the catch. Here's Carter on the sweep. Run out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Now, we'll take a look at it again, and we'll show you exactly what we're talking about. And notice the belt that Green takes after he passes the football. He really takes a shot. Now, here's Reese waiting for it, and right behind him is Nafziger. Now, he's wide open, and he can catch it, but Reese goes high in the air. You see, Nafziger, number 83, could have made the catch, but it picked up the first down anyway. Here's the rush and the hit on Green. Kurt Schumacher, number 71, really lowering the boom on him. John McKay. And everything is coming up roses for the Buccaneers in the Superdome. Second down, 8. Owens in motion. Quick handoff. Big hole. Williams loses the ball at the 10-yard line. Had a great run. Almost broke it for a touchdown, and the Saints recover. New Orleans gets it back at their own 11-yard line with 2 minutes and 59 seconds left to play.
I think Williams lost that one out of pure shock, Frank. The Saints had a blitz on. Watch at the left bottom of your screen. Here comes the blitz. Now Ed finds that he's in the open. No, number 44, Chris, got a hand on the football and yanked it out.
Chris stripped him of the ball and then recovered the fumble. So first down for the Saints at their 11-yard line with 2 minutes, 59 seconds to go. They trail 26-7. And they need not one miracle, but I'd say 2 miracles at this point. Minimum.
They need a pocket full, Frank. Speaking of miracles.
Gilliam in motion out of the full house backfield. No swing pass out to Galbraith to the 18-yard line for a pickup of 7, and that won't do it because that just keeps the clock moving. CBS Sports Spectacular next weekend. Highlights of the WBC World Welterweight Championship fight. Carlos Palomino, Jose Palacios. That's not all. You'll see the National Hot Rod Association World Championships, the U.S. Professional Arm Wrestling Championship, and the World's Strongest Men competition featuring the Tug of War. All coming your way on the CBS Sports Spectacular. 2nd and 3 for the Saints. Archie Manning under pressure. Penalty marker is down. Henry Childs made the catch but paid the price at the 32-yard line. He got the first down, but we had a marker thrown at the line of scrimmage. It'll be holding against the New Orleans Saints, and that will nullify that fine catch. Two minutes, 11 seconds left to play in the game. We had better than 40,000 on hand when this game started. They've dwindled perhaps to less than half that number at this particular point.
Holding, number 68, offense. Second down.
Terry Steve, the offensive guard of the Saints, guilty of that penalty. That moves the ball back to the 9-yard line. Half the distance to the goal. It'll be second down. And the Saints need 12 for the first down. He was intercepted for a touchdown. Blocked and intercepted by number 72, Greg Johnson. That is 3 touchdowns scored by the Tampa Bay defense, and the crowd here at the Superdome is now cheering them. Let's look at it again.
Everything happens here when Pandora's box opens up. Anything can come out. This time, Manning tries to get a screen pass set up.
Glenn Robinson, number 64 on the block. The ball is in the air, and there is Mr. Johnson to pull it down.
It's going to be a great day in Tampa.
You realize that's 3 pass interceptions for touchdowns for Tampa Bay? The Bucs defense has scored 3 times on pass interceptions, and they've never returned 1 pass for a touchdown and interception prior to this game, and now they have 3. And they also have a 33-7 lead.
That's got to be the most.
5 seconds to go.
That's got to be the most points they've ever scored in their history. 33 points.
Here it is again. There's the block by Robinson. Off the helmet of Archie Manning and into the arms of Johnson, number 72.
Who said lineman cannot catch?
Pretty good hands. Here's another angle. Archie roaming around back there. A lot of pressure by Robinson, 64, coming in from the left. Right off the head of Mr. Manning. And into the arms of
We
Johnson.
might call it heads-up play.
You might. All right. Dave Green will kick it off. The most points that the Bucs have ever scored in their history. You're seeing it this afternoon. And the defense responsible for 3 touchdowns. They can be credited for 21 points. Mounty out to the 30-yard line, has his jersey ripped off, and is stopped at the 32. Well, the Buccaneers are rewriting a record book. Larry Mucker making his stop.
Mounty just looked as though he ran a gauntlet with everybody swinging clubs at him.
2-minute warning going to both benches now, and we'll be back for the conclusion at the Superdome in just a moment. 1 minute, 55 seconds left to play. You're seeing pro football history being made in the Superdome as the young, aggressive Tampa Bay Buccaneers have their first victory in 27 tries in the NFL, covering almost 2 full seasons. 1st and 10. Saints at their own 32. Manning drills it over the middle. It's complete at the 50-yard line. Good for the first down to Don Herman. A minute 40 to go. We got an official timeout here because the Bucs are getting back a little slowly. 17-yard pickup on the play. First down from midfield. Each team has all 3 of their timeouts. I don't know if the Saints really want to bother at this point, but we'll see as they go for a consolation touchdown here. Pass completed again, this time to Greg Boykin, number 36, a rookie out of Northwestern. It's another 8 yards to the 42-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Time moving on. Just over a minute left to play. 2nd down, 3. Childs, the intended receiver, couldn't hold it at the 27. That stops the clock with 1:07 to go. CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday. Fight fans have a real treat in store for you with the WBC World Welterweight Championship fight. You'll see highlights of it on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Big day for you hot rodders as well, as we'll show you the National Hot Rod Association World Championship and the U.S. Professional Arm Wrestling Championship, plus the world's strongest men competition, all in one. CBS Sports Spectacular show. 2nd period score, 21-7 Oakland. Most of you watching will see that game. Little flea flicker here. Archie Manning gets the pass away to Boykin, and Boykin is run out of bounds at the 35, and Manning is hot because one of the Buccaneers, Glenn Robinson, nearly took his head off. So here it goes. Goes to Boykin, then to Herman, the wide receiver, and back to Archie Manning, the old flea flicker. Now watch, Johnson really comes in and lowers the boom, and Archie gets it away. Boykin makes the reception and is driven out of bounds at the 35-yard line. First down for the Saints. 59 seconds left to play in the game. Manning again going to Boykin, this time at the 29, the 28-yard line. He does not get out of bounds. And the Saints will call time. They want this consolation touchdown. If nothing else, that's the first of their 3 allotted timeouts. And the gentlemen who have made it possible for us to bring you this historic game today. It's nice being on hand when you see pro football history being made on the positive side, and that it is certainly for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they finally get in the win column. There's got to be a lot of happy folks in the Tampa Bay area, and I'm sure a lot of them will be on hand to greet the Buccaneers when they arrive home at 8:15 tonight. They finish up at home next Sunday afternoon against the St. Louis Cardinals, and I would imagine they'd have an excellent shot at beating the Cardinals. St. Louis certainly has to be down after their heartbreaking loss to the Redskins, which knocked them out of the playoffs yesterday. Tampa Bay showing tenacious defense. I mean, what can you say? I mean, 3 pass interceptions returned for touchdowns in a single game. That's super defense. A lot of pressure on the Saint quarterbacks. And the offense has been a bit sporadic, but it's got some points on the scoreboard. Defense came up with 21 points. The offense came up with a dozen. Archie Manning flagged down. Archie going to run it 30-25 down to the 21. Penalty marker on the play. Coming up, holiday time, and of course that means bowl time, and we've got some great ones for you on CBS. The Fiesta Bowl, which matches Penn State against Arizona State. That will be on Christmas Day. We'll have the Sun Bowl on New Year's Eve. Stanford against LSU. On New Year's Day, Cotton Bowl, Texas and Notre Dame with the national championship at stake. That'll be played on Monday, January 2nd. Actually, not New Year's Day, but on Monday. That particular Sunday will be taken up with a few matters like the NFC Championship game, which you'll see on CBS. And keep in mind, the next time they play an NFL game here in the Dome, it'll be the Super Bowl on January 15th on CBS.
Offside, a tackle, defense, declined, first down.
So the penalty against the Buccaneers is declined because the gain was greater. And the Saints will take the football at the 23-yard line of the Bucs. First down, 45 seconds to go. Archie Manning at the throttle of the Saints, going for the consolation touchdown here. Comes back against the grain. Down to the 20 goes Kim Jones inside the 20 to the 14-yard line. That'll be close to another first down. Officials stop the clock with 35 seconds to go. The Buccaneer bench. And there'll be a lot of congratulations all the way around. Another 35 seconds from now as John McKay has his first official NFL victory. Of course, the Bucs did win a couple of preseason games this year, but they don't count those. And it'll be a happy ride home back to Tampa after this one. Next Saturday on CBS, the Los Angeles Rams and the Washington Redskins in a game that's very important, particularly to the playoff hopes of the Redskins. The Rams have already clinched their division. They'll be trying to build up a head of steam going into the NFC playoffs the following weekend. Saints have come along statistically here in the second half where the stats, believe it or not,